Number 74, Francisco Saucedo, and number 80, Francis Cooney. Ladies and gentlemen, now taking the field, your Red Mountain Mountain Lions. And also taking the field of visiting, Skyline Coyotes. Skyline has won the toss. They will receive the opening kickoff. The winner for the next game, as assigned by the Arizona Fish Association Stars, Brian Hastings, the referee. Robin Kinley is the line judge. Jake Gustafson, the umpire. Todd Woodland is the left judge. And Justin Wilcox, the head linesman. We're glad to welcome Lisa Alvarado from American Family Insurance, who is a house sponsor of Red Mountain Fall Sports. They have a table, 5 concession stands today where you can enter to win a Larry Fitzgerald jersey valued at $150. The winner of that raffle will be announced at halftime tonight's game, so head on over to the table by the concession stand. And visit Lisa Alvarado, American Family Insurance, for a chance to win that Larry Fitzgerald jersey. The 2018 football season is brought to you by Parker & Sons. Schooling, heating, plumbing, electrical, and water softening. Parker & Sons will be no relevance on your job. Kicking off, quarter outlines for 25, Connor Gardner. Skyline, number 1, Sullivan Buchanan, and number 4, Aaron Wood.
A very pleasant good afternoon and good evening to you from the Parker & Sons press box. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Booby. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the YouTube on the Red Mountain Football Network. And tonight it is a battle of the East Valley Region foes, the Skyline Coyotes and your Red Mountain Mountain Lions. And we are underway as Connor Gardner tees it up on the 40-yard line, and the first play of the game, the ball is fumbled on the far sideline, and the return man for Skyline will inadvertently step on the out-of-bounds line. That looks like it's all-region first-team standout Aaron Wood on the return game. He's their starting tailback. So Coach Pafumi putting all of his playmakers on the field to start this game.
Yes, Coach Pafumi trying to get something going early for the Skyline Coyotes. We'll see what they have going in the offensive juggernaut here from Skyline, and it's going to be a great game here at Red Mountain, ready to get this going as well.
The quarterback for the Skyline Coyotes, Stephen Castle, 6'1", 175. He's a senior. He's a dual-threat quarterback. And Red Mountain will start off with a 7-man front. You'll see variations of a 4-2-5 and a whole bunch of different schemes trying to get some pressure on the quarterback. Just underway from Red Mountain High School on the Susan B. Komen Cancer Awareness Game. All the little ones are here. A lot of pomp and circumstance here tonight. Aaron Wood, first carry of the game. It's a sweep to the near side, and Red Mountain's defense is right there waiting for him. It looked like Georgie Ramirez was one of the first guys to get there with a excellent play for Georgie Ramirez, an open field tackle out of that safety spot.
Yeah, he came from the opposite side of the field that Georgie Ramirez that time, kept a great job on outside contain, and brought Aaron Wood down right as he approached the line of scrimmage.
Credit Aaron Wood with a 2-yard run. He comes in with 678 yards. He has 5 touchdowns for the all-region first teamer. This is a shotgun snap for Castle, rolling to the far side of the field. Has some time. He's got room in front of him. He's going to take off and run with it, and he'll be thrown out of bounds. Penalty marker comes in. In the area for Red Mountain, you had Jacob Griffin over there. Trey Smith was also there. And for some reason, I think Francis Kumi was in the area and may have got a back of that shirt collar on the jersey for number 16. That's their quarterback, Stephen Castle. Penalty markers thrown on that play. JP, what'd you see?
Yeah, Castle flushed out of the pocket that time. Number 54 in pursuit, Jake Griffin for Red Mountain. Had a great pursuit angle. Unfortunately, got over there near the sideline and got him by the back of the jersey, so that brought the penalty flag.
And I don't know if that was the right call here early on, but the officials want to get a hold of this one. Tonight's referee is Brian Hastings. The umpire is Jake Gustafson. Our head linesman this evening is Justin Wilcox. The line judge will be Rob McKinley. And our back judge is Todd Whitlinger, our AIA officiating crew. for tonight's contest. So a 15-yard penalty marched off for Skyline. They're moving right to left, wearing their all-white uniforms with their gold helmets. And Aaron Wood, once again, the ball carrier, goes right up the middle. When you're Coach Pufumi and you're the Skyline Coyotes and you have this offensive line, you want to work to your strength, and their offensive line, we'll get to those guys here momentarily. The offensive line is their strength, JP.
Yes, it is, most definitely. They have big guys up front, able to push the pile, but young and very fast and elusive defenders for Red Mountain, and Anthony Giraldi knifing through on that last play.
This is Aaron Wood once again taking the handoff from Stephen Castle, and he'll pick up about 2 yards. So that'll bring up a 3rd and long here upcoming for Stephen Castle. The guys up front for Skyline, the center is CJ Despain. The left tackle is Noah Barta. The right tackle is Declan Kyler. And the right guard will be Jackson O'Brien. And the left guard is Wilberth Romero. The starting lineup for Skyline. Here's Castle on the rollout to the near side, to the 30-yard line. Wants to take off and run with it. And he's going to be bumped off the play around the 41-yard line. Make it the 40-yard line. And Georgie Ramirez, again, on the hustle, knocks out the quarterback, but not before Castle rips off the first down carry.
Yeah, Charlie Hola in pursuit of that one from the backside there for Red Mountain's defensive line, but ultimately making the play coming again from the opposite side of the football field. George Ramirez to force the quarterback out of bounds, and but not before he picked up a Skyline first down.
Gives Stephen Castle a gain of 12 yards on the quarterback keep. He'll ask Aaron Wood to move over to his right side. 3 wide receivers to the far side. This is Castle on a play fake. Here comes the pressure. It's Jacob Griffin, and Griffin's there for the sack. Griffin picks up his 7th sack of this season for Red Mountain. And Jacob Griffin doing a great job on that opposite side with some pressure, and he got there in a hurry.
He did indeed. A great job using his hands up front against the offensive lineman for Skyline, getting off the block and running flat down the line of scrimmage and making the play there for Red Mountain's defense. An excellent job in pursuit once again for Jacob Griffin.
Solomon Buchanan gets the start at fullback tonight for Angelo Bufumi's Skyline Coyotes, and Garrett Lindley starts at flanker. After the sack by Jacob Griffin, 2nd and 13 from their own 33-yard line. They run a sweep to Wood, and he'll cut that route off and dart right up inside, right up against the interior of Red Mountain, and coming up to make the tackle is Anthony Giraldi, the Mike backer, the leading tackler on this football unit.
Yeah, we talked before the game tonight on the football field, and you mentioned Anthony Giraldi would have a big game, and so far he is sticking his nose in there for the Red Mountain defense.
First tackle of the night for him. Castle faced with a 3rd and long from their own 40-yard line. 4 down linemen for Red Mountain. Shaq Daniels takes the cover to the near side. Castle steps up in that pocket. Good feel for him. Again, on the rollout, gets the outside. He's going to be grabbed and thrown down. Nice job there for Red Mountain. Jesus Vasquez with an interception last week, starting to make a contribution defensively here out of that cornerback spot. Came in there and wrapped up on Stephen Castle and ended up getting a 4th down here for Skyline.
Yeah, I tell you, excellent pursuit here thus far in this ball game from the Red Mountain defense. They're taking great pursuit angles, running flat down the line of scrimmage, and almost every play there's multiple guys in pursuit of that football, and that's credit to Coach Kyle Enders and his defensive staff.
Stephen Castles, the punter, takes a high snap. Here comes the pressure, and Kumi was the first guy there. Molina's back, and he's going to let this one roll over his head and go all the way into the end zone. Wow, what a punt there by the quarterback, Stephen Castle. Wow, unofficially a 56-yard punt. That is quite a leg. He got the roll, and the ball went over all-region first-team punt returner from a year ago, Zach Molina. And you think about that, the recognition that Zach Molina received a year ago, he just hasn't had the chances to return any punts this year because, you know, he has a lot of respect now, and they don't kick him the football. Yeah,
he does have a lot of respect, but they've faced a couple of good kickers here so far in the campaign, as has Red Mountain. And one of those tonight is from Skyline. That was an excellent boot there. And too bad Skyline had nobody down there to cover. That would have been deep in Red Mountain territory for them to start this drive.
Darren Smith, the starter at quarterback. He's a senior. Played his high school ball in New York a season ago. He's 10th on the 6A in yardage with 1,127 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for the right-handed gunslinger. And he'll be lined up with Zach Molina. And his tight end is Carter Wheat. Kalem Reese Peebles also with the start tonight. And then Jared Wilson gets the start. There goes Molina in motion out of the shotgun. Empty set for Smith. High snap, makes the catch, is Carter Wheat, puts the ball on the deck. It's fumbled, and I believe that Zach Molina came in and recovered that fumble, and he did. Oh, wow. So Carter Wheat makes the first reception of the night. Ran a nice little curl route about 8 yards in. Caught it. It was a hot pass there from Darren Smith, and then he got jarred and put the ball on the carpet, and Zach Molina there to save the day early on.
Yeah, he took a tiny shot there, did Carter Wheat. Unfortunately coughed the football up, but right there on time was Zach Molina to scoop that one up for the Mountain Lions.
Gain of 9, Darren Smith to Carter Wheat. They run a jet sweep to Deontay Elliott, and Elliott's got some speed. Breaks the tackle on the far side to the 40, and he'll take it out across the 45-yard line. And Deontay Elliott with a nice gain there on 2nd and 1, and that jet sweep in full effect here tonight.
Yeah, these defensive in the 6A conference are going to learn very fast that you cannot arm tackle Deontay Elliott. He has a great head of steam as he approaches the line of scrimmage, always has those leg turns, has that forward body lean, and is able to break tackles in an instant. So they've got to wrap him up and bring him to the turf.
Deontay Elliott, 136 yards last week on 25 totes. Busts off a 12-yard run, his first carry of the night. This is Molina. They fake the jet sweep to him. Smith to the air. Right over the middle. It's caught by Carter Wheat. Breaks the tackle at the 40, and he's going to be thrown down to the ground around the 37-yard line. Darren Smith to Carter Wheat. Once again, the tight end has 2 receptions here early on.
The big target, Carter Wheat down the middle once again on the seam route. Excellent job, Darren Smith able to set his feet, deliver the football on time, and starts up front with a great pass protection. But Carter Wheat, they're going to have to put a man on him because he's going to run down the middle of the football field all night long on that.
That's the 14th catch in the last 3 games for Carter Wheat. Gain of 23 yards on that pass play. Darren Smith with a pretty ball. Carter Wheat with a nice finish on the run. Smith to the air again, and the pass is dropped. The wide receiver that time, the intended target was Deontay Elliott. And James, perhaps that ball could have been intended for Clem Reese-Peebles, but there were 2 receivers in the area, somewhat unusual.
Yeah, trying to decide if that one was a little bit too short to Reese-Peebles or if it was a little overthrown there to the outside. And Deontay Elliott, but regardless, an incompletion there for Red Mountain, and brings up 2nd and 10 here for him.
Jasper Parks gets the start at right tackle. The center tonight will be Francisco Salcedo. They run the jet sweep, and no, they don't. Oh, another great fake right there. Darren Smith on a zone read kept the football, and I have to be honest with you right there. I got deked on the play, but Deontay Elliott did a masterful job with the cell, and that looked great.
Yeah, Elliott did a great job on the play fake there, as did Darren Smith. And fortunately for Red Mountain, Deontay Elliott was able to bring a couple defenders along with him on that play fake, leaving the middle wide open for Darren Smith to chug ahead and pick up some positive yardage.
Darren Smith looked like cannon grinder on that play. Chunked off 6 yards for the quarterback. Play fake. Smith looks over the middle, and the ball is caught by Carter Wheat at the 15-yard line. He's stuck right away. Nice defensive play there by Skyline's number 20, Ethan Truesdale. Put the lick on Carter Wheat, but Carter Wheat, again, caught a pass that was picture perfect, and he, again, made a football move after contact.
Yes, he did. Full-grown man play there that time for Carter Wheat. Able to catch that ball down the middle. We said it a minute ago. He's going to keep doing it until they stop it, and that time he took a shot, but he was able to corral the football, haul it in, and pick up the first down for Red Mountain.
Smith on the keep again, working the left side, and he has positive yardage there before he's brought down by number 40 for Skyline. Another big-time tackler for the Coyotes, that's Zach Creans. Creans 6'2", 225, he's just a junior.
Big-time play there for Creans, able to run down the line of scrimmage and eye that ball carrier the entire way, wrap him up, and bring him down there for the Skyline defense.
On that previous play, Darren Smith to Carter Wheat for 16 yards, put them out lines in the red zone. 2nd and 7 for the Skyline 11-yard line. This is a handoff up the middle to Deontay Elliott, and Elliott somehow continues to stay on his feet, and he'll move that pile all the way into the green zone, and he's going to be stopped around the 1-yard line. So Deontay Elliott kept picking him up and putting him down, and he literally drug that pile inside the 5-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 1.
Once again, Deontay Elliott, credit to the offensive line up front for pushing the pile, but even more credit to Deontay Elliott keeping those legs churning the entire time, forward body lean, and refusing to go down. He wants to get that football in the end zone.
For Red Mountain, Jared Wilson will sit down. Jarquell Garner has checked into the football game. Georgie Ramirez, this looks like it's going to be a heavy package. They give it to Jarquell Garner running right, and Garner is going to fight for the goal line. We'll wait for a signal. And now it's a touchdown. Red Mountain touchdown. Jarquell Garner, his 5th of the season. He ties Georgie Ramirez, and Red Mountain is on the scoreboard first in this one.
Yeah, what a great job that time, pushing the pile up front from the offensive line, able to get off the football low into the chest of the defensive lineman, driving backwards, and provide a path there for 45 Jarquell Garner to punch it in for the first score of the night here for the Red Mountain Lions.
Interesting personnel move, but Jarquell Garner gets the touchdown. That was not Georgie Ramirez or Deontay Elliott. Good snap and a good hold by Garrett Strail, and Connor Gardner's 1-point conversion attempt is right down the middle. 4:18 to go in our opening quarter in this battle of the East Valley region foes, Skyline and Red Mountain. Our score, Red Mountain 7, Skyline 0.
The Parker & Sons Red Mountain Varsity Player of the Week.
Your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602-2-REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
Kevin Derryberry, James Pooby, high atop the Parker & Sons press box from Red Mountain High School. This is Connor Gardner, pooches it to the near side, and that will negate an Aaron Wood return and a Solomon Buchanan return. So the pooch from Connor Gardner gets the job done, and Skyline trailing 7-0 will have their second possession with the rock here tonight.
Yeah, Skyline wants to have a drive here. Red Mountain did a great job on that offensive series. They chewed up a lot of that first quarter clock, so Skyline would like to return the favor and have a nice, long, sustained drive, try to get their running game going, and possibly open up the passing game at the same time.
It was all solid, too.
Always, pal.
7-0. Excellent drive by Red Mountain, and you saw a couple wrinkles in there with that jet sweep. Some of those plays from the old Ron Wisniewski days. And then just some textbook football. Darren Smith to the tight end. This is a reverse and a pass for Skyline going deep, and there's absolutely nobody home. Within 15 yards of that throw, the intended target running that deep route was JoJo Wallace, and the defensive back was Shaq Daniels. And Shaq back there doing the job.
Talk about the wrinkles, the halfback reverse pass there on from Skyline Coyotes. Trying to pull out the trickery here early, and but Red Mountain was not fooled in the least there. Great coverage on the back end for the Mountain Lions.
Jack Nelson, who threw that pass, listed as their backup quarterback. He's a sophomore, 6'4", 180. They run it on a sweep to the right side and cutting it in was number 20, their tailback, Ethan Truesdale. You'll see a lot of Aaron Wood, and you'll see some occasional Ethan Truesdale, but the two-back tandem of Skyline there just ripped off about 4 yards there on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, nice pickup there for the Skyline Coyotes. Number 6 in there, Isaac Thompson on the stop for Red Mountain.
The it factor, IT, gain of 3 for Truesdale. Castle with the play at the line of scrimmage, 3 wide receivers to the near side. Evan Almta is up, he's playing. Georgie Ramirez back there in center. Castle over the middle of the field, and balls in and out of the hands of Solomon Buchanan. Georgie Ramirez was there to disrupt things. And how about Brave Jansen out of that linebacker spot? Going back in coverage, he was in the vicinity also.
Yeah, Red Mountain's linebacking core just really too good in coverage for Skyline to be able to throw the football that late over the middle. You never want to throw late over the middle anyway, but you can't wait on the guys to get in defensive position before you fire the football. They got to throw it sooner.
So far, so good for the start for this Red Mountain defense. The idea at some point is that you could make this Skyline offensive unit one-dimensional. That would be the game plan. If you can take out their run game, they want Stephen Castle to throw the football 35 times tonight. That would be what would appear to be in Red Mountain's favor.
Yeah, Red Mountain doing a great job on defense right now, getting pressure up the middle and forcing Castle out of the pocket. So if he is indeed the one-dimensional threat for Skyline tonight, they are going to have a long night here against Red Mountain.
They don't have Darius Glover. He graduated, and Coach Pafumi told us before the game, they're just thin in their skill set positions, and they've got body counts at the school, but it's just not necessarily the right types of bodies that they're looking for. Some guys are playing up that probably should be playing at lower levels, but they're making the best of a challenging situation.
Yeah, they definitely are, and it's tough for them to get a good look, as they say, in practice and give those ones a true look against what the other team might do that Friday night.
High snap for Castle. Here comes the rush. Randall got close. It's a booming punt, and it's going to be fielded there by Zach Molina. And Molina's going to be wrapped up around the 30-yard line with absolutely no return at all. Ethan Truesdale down there to make the tackle, and that is quite a defensive play. You can tell some of these athletes that are going both ways. In fact, for Ethan Truesdale, he's playing defense, playing some offense, and you saw him right there as one of the gunners on special teams. That's an athlete right there.
Yeah, great job flying down the football field there, and a great special teams pursuit on from Skyline. They're going to hopefully be able to keep that going. As you mentioned, a lot of those guys playing both ways tonight, and it is a war of attrition out here. A little bit warm, not quite as warm as it was last week, but it will play a factor here as the game goes on.
Red Mountain will send out Darren Smith, the gunslinging quarterback, the right-hander. Here's Zach Molina in motion. It's a full wide receiver package, and Smith feels that pressure, senses it, runs up into the pocket, takes off and runs, and is going to be grabbed from behind. Nice tackle there by the Skyline Coyotes. That's Daniel To'oto. To'oto, another two-way player. He was an East Valley Region honorable mention standout last year, and he plays some tight end, and right there from his defensive end position, got Darren Smith from behind. 6'3", 245, showed you he's athletic.
Yeah, he's athletic, and he is also lucky, Kevin, because he was about 1.5 yards offsides that time, and unfortunately the referees did not see that one for Red Mountain, but got away with one there, did Skyline.
High snap, they put it into the gut of the tailback. This is Deontay Elliott, breaking tackles and carrying people with him. Is number 28, Deontay Elliott, just bust off 10 yards from the line of scrimmage right there, and for Deontay Elliott, 22 yards on 2 carries. He has picked up where he left off last week on that 25 carry, $136 for his debut with the Mountain Lions, and of course that 15-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he's going to be a big factor in the game here tonight. If he gets out to the edge like that, he's able to get that car turned and head up the field. Look out.
Right now, Red Mountain demonstrating balance with the run game and the pass game. It's supposed to work like this. This is how they draw it up on the whiteboard. Again, it's Jarquell Garner on a sweep, breaks a tackle in the backfield, and it just gets leveled. On the far side, once again for Skyline, number 40 in the fray, Zach Creans came up and creamed Jarquell Garner on that particular handoff.
Yeah, Jarquell Garner got the handoff there. He broke a tackle right as he got the football, but right away, Zach Creans came flying through and dropped him with a very nice form tackle there in the backfield.
Give Creams a TFL. That'll bring up a 2nd and long for Darren Smith. Garner remains in. He's flanked to the right of Darren Smith. Smith wants to throw, looking left, fires left, and the ball is complete around the 47-yard line. Making the reception for Red Mountain, Jared Wilson, number 14. And for JW, he has been in the mix the last 2 or 3 weeks. We saw him make his debut at Dobson, and he's been on the field ever since.
Yeah, Wilson did a great job on that play on the far sideline, going up and high pointing that football and using his feet, a little bit of nice toe touching there just inside the sideline, and that's good for another pickup for Red Mountain.
Darren Smith back to the air, goes that same route. It's Calabrese Peebles this time, and he's got the first down and more as he rumbles down the sideline. The Slim Reaper making the reception and doing a nice job of turning it up the field. In fact, he might have drawn a flag there. No flag, but that was an excellent route, and the delivery, again, for Darren Smith right on time. He has been red hot tonight with his accuracy.
Yeah, Smith is a very accurate quarterback. He surveys the field very well. He sees the football field, able to set his feet and deliver a strike to the far side there to Calabrese Peebles. A beautiful ball once again from Darren Smith.
First attempt for the 36, again looking left and making the catch and streaking into the end zone is Deontay Elliott from Darren Smith. 36 yards, Pater Pop touchdown, Mountain Lions.
Started running vertical down the football field. Deontay Elliott, good job bending it back inside, plucking it out of the air, and it was all Elliott after that, churning those legs, and he was not going to be denied on that one.
Breaking tackles. Breaking tackle extraordinaire, Deontay Elliott. And we talked about the physicality that he plays this game with. And he showed you a little bit about that right now, that strength that he has. The athleticism is there, the ability to catch a pass, and then what he does with it after he catches it, and a lot of it after contact is special.
Very special, yes, yards after contact. I would like to go back and total up the yards after contact just in these last 5 quarters almost, and he's done an outstanding job so far in his debut for Red Mountain.
Darren Smith, credit him with his 9th touchdown pass for the Mountain Lions. That's a big play now, Red Mountain with a Connor Gardner point after try here. Has a chance to take a 14-0 lead here at home against their rival Skyline. Strail is the holder. Good snap, good hold. Here comes the rush. The kick is right down the middle of the goalpost. 63 seconds remain in this opening quarter from Red Mountain High School. Our score, the Mountain Lions 14 and the Coyotes 0.
Sons and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker and Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker and Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona Special Olympics.
Parker and Sons.
Partner is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker and Sons.
No, I'm definitely not talking about you. Here we go. So the Mountain Lions draw first blood here in this one, and they tack on the second touchdown of the night. Look at Hiram Bourne down there on special teams. And Jesus Vasquez and Isaac Thompson. You got some ball players down there as Red Mountain tries to shore it up defensively on the return game. This is Connor Gardner. Swings that right leg through it. High end over end kick. This is Solomon Buchanan. Angles to the 20, 25. Dances around the 25. Makes the move to the 30, and they're going to stack them up right there. Great special teams defense by the Mountain Lions. And James, you think about what a difference a week makes when it comes to football kick coverage. And Red Mountain spent some time during the week practicing this, and you can see a difference here tonight. Hiram Bourne, among others, in there leading the way special teams.
Yeah, great job by the special teams unit so far here tonight for Red Mountain. And it's obvious they've made some changes and been working hard all week on shoring up a few things, and it's showing off here tonight. Greatest thing about special teams and kickoff, if you do it right, you get to go down and hit about 6 or 8 dudes on your way to the ball carrier.
They call them wedge busters in some areas of life. They are tough, physical kids. Trailing 14-0. They go back to the ground. This is Aaron Wood. He goes up the middle and he's stuffed. Tries to pick up a second effort there, and to no avail. He'll run right into Alexander Randall, and he will get absolutely nowhere. AR there, making it difficult.
Yeah, and how about the front for Red Mountain against Aaron Wood so far? He rattled off a number of yards in the past couple of contests over the last few years, but so far tonight, Red Mountain's defense doing a great job of shutting him down.
Skyline, their total yards coming into the contest, 1797. That's good for 19th. In comparison, Red Mountain at 2285. Passing yards, this is where the Skyline Coyotes fall a little short. They're 23rd in the 6A conference, just 625, but they do get it down on the ground. This is Aaron Wood running right, showing you some quicks, and then here comes the defense in swarms. Red Mountain there to snuff out that run game.
Wow, number 9, Braden Jansen, baby thumper, comes up, has excellent position on the outside, containing that time, forces the action back inside, and Aaron Wood has got a host of tacklers from Red Mountain waiting right there for him. A great play there for the defensive line.
there's a couple guys down there, but the baby Thump getting it done, getting his thump on, and Anthony Giraldi also right down there in the area. We have played the first 12 minutes from Red Mountain High School. Our score, Red Mountain 14, Skyline 0. Second quarter action coming up right after this.
Proud sponsor of your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes. A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, and water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
Shout out to Red Mountain football fans. This is head coach Mike Peterson. From me to you, I invite you to listen to the Lions Den podcast each week, hosted by Red Mountain football play-by-play voice Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man. We will talk Mountain Lion football in depth after each game. Highlights, player interviews, chalk talk, and the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week. Listen to the Lions Den. And hey, don't be that guy.
Money. Castle dumps it off for 30. Tries to turn the corner, and he's going to be taken out. What an open field tackle by Red Mountain. My goodness, Shaq Daniels up there to snuff that one out. And talk about reading and reacting. Aiden James did it right there. Nice play there on the open field.
A great open field tackle there from Shaq Daniels. A lot of high school kids don't know how to throw. They don't know how to throw themselves at a ball carrier and launch at the exact right time. But that was a great job there by Shaq Daniels. A nice effort.
Kind of get the feeling tonight that Zach Molina is going to house one if he gets a chance. We're just going to stick to that. This is Castle. It's high, and it angles on the far side and takes a roll. And Coach Pafumi will take that. No return for Zach Molina. Red Mountain will get the football back, and they have a 14-0 lead here. And so far, Skyline has no answer for the Red Mountain offense here in this one.
Yeah, their defense is not able to do much against the attack from Red Mountain. They're balanced very well tonight. You mentioned on the ground and through the air, picking up yardage there from Jarquell Garner as well as Deontay Elliott, and a number of guys getting into the action on the receiving core as well for Red Mountain here tonight.
So Darren Smith will start his third series. Flanked to his left, it looks like it's Deontay Elliott. He gets the carry, he goes up the middle, and there's not much doing this time. I think Zach Creans was all over that play. He's a good one, and he too, with that ability to read and react, just kind of sees the keys, sees where the offensive line's going, sheds a couple blockers and makes a play.
Yeah, Zach Creans with a great first step there. He does not false step either, which is very important from the linebacker position. He's able to go right to where he needs to be, and he finds himself in great position to make a play for his football team.
So the Mountain Lions working right to left in this second quarter, lead it 14-0. Second and 10 from their own 35-yard line. 3 wide receiver package, 2 to the near side. Play fake. Smith, far side field, caught. And that is Kalem Reese-Peebles. He lost the football, and Skyline might have picked up another turnover. I believe Kalem Reese-Peebles made an outstanding catch, made a move with the football, and then he lost the rock, and that's a turnover, and Skyline's got it. And another unforced error here by this Red Mountain offense.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. Darren Smith once again with a beautiful pass, able to set his feet and deliver the ball on time in stride to Kalem Reese-Peebles. Looked like he was trying to pick up maybe an additional yard or two there, lunging forward, and somehow lost the football on the way to the ground. And Skyline is going to take over here in pretty good field position.
That was the 11th catch of the season for Kalem Reese-Peebles. Unfortunately, the result is a fumble. It's a 14-yard pass reception. So Darren Smith putting up some big numbers here in this opening quarter. Now, as we play the first couple minutes of the second quarter, this is Aaron Wood. Check that. This is Truesdale. Makes the first man miss, and then coming up in a hurry and chasing him from behind is Anthony Giraldi. How about your Mike backer there, covering sideline to sideline right there? That was a spectacular open field tackle. He got the back of the heel of Truesdale, but it was just enough to make a tackle.
Yeah, Anthony Giraldi doing a great job there from the middle linebacker's position for Red Mountain, out in the curl to flat coverage and dropping the running back right away. Nice job.
Gain of 6 for Truesdale. This time they go to the fullback, Buchanan, And Buchanan, off a little trap play there, is going to be close to the first down. I think he'll have the first down. That's a gain of 4 for Solomon Buchanan. And for Skyline, they are in Red Mountain territory for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Skyline did a good job that time getting a push off that left-hand side, fired off the football into the chest of the defensive lineman, and drove them backwards and paved the way for Buchanan to pick up that first down.
So Coach Pafumi gets a play in. His quarterback, Stephen Castle, has Aaron Wood lined up now in what looks like tight end spot. Truesdale will go back to another wide receiver spot, and it's going to be Stephen Castle. I don't know what the heck was going on there, but a penalty marker comes in. Maybe delay of game, but also an illegal shift could have very well have taken place in there. A lot of movement on that line of scrimmage for Skyline.
Yeah, Skyline moved a little bit, and Red Mountain adjusted up front as well. They shifted over one notch on the defensive line, and ultimately a delay of game there on Skyline. Not sure what they were doing there, but cost them 5 yards nonetheless.
The bell count for this Skyline offense is Aaron Wood. Last year he scored 14 times, going over 1,100 yards. This is Castle getting to the air. That shotgun snap rolls on the far side. Here comes the pressure by Jacob Griffin, and now Castle's going to try to work his way up the sideline, and he does for positive yardage. And that was a nice block there on the pursuing Jacob Griffin by one of those chippy blockers there for Skyline.
Yeah, nice block. That was Aaron Wood out there actually blocking in the flat, trying to give his quarterback a little bit more room to run, and Castle wanted to keep going. So number 12, Anthony Giraldi, stepped up and blasted him on the sideline.
AG already having himself a game here. 2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line of Red Mountain. Castle out of the pistol formation. Back to throw. Dumps it off in the flat to Aaron Wood. Makes a move. Cuts inside out of the 40-yard line, inside of the 38-yard line. He'll just kind of dive over Isaac Thompson right there. But not before Alexander Randall slowed things down, and IT there finished it up.
Yeah, nice job clogging up the front there by the defensive line for Red Mountain. They're getting penetration and clogging things up and allowing those linebackers to flow across and make plays, and that's exactly what they're doing here tonight. Number 9, Braden Jansen and Anthony Giraldi so far having a great game.
James already trailing 14-0. You can see that the offense here has become a little bit more deliberate. Here comes Francis Kumi on the rush. Dropped off to Buchanan. Buchanan steamrolls Shaq Daniels in a physical battle right there, and he'll skirt up the sideline here before he's knocked out of bounds. So a nice play there by Solomon Buchanan as he took on Shaq Daniels there and won that individual battle that time.
Yes, he did. Shaq Daniels, a nice effort coming up there, but he can't lower his headgear like that and look away. You got to see exactly what you hit, wrap the dude up, drive your feet and bring your hips and take him to the ground.
Wrapping up. Fundamental play of football. Wrap it up. Skyline coming in with a record of 2-4. They are 1-0 in the East Valley region, so depending on what happens between Westwood and Mountain View tonight, the winner of this game tonight could be in sole possession of the East Valley region. So taking time out did Coach Pafumi. And James, one thing that you can see here is this, just the deliberation of the offense now. Coach Pafumi does not want to get in a shootout with Red Mountain. He doesn't have the football team to get in a shootout with Red Mountain. So the best job that he could do, maybe much like Desert Ridge style, just play 4 quarters of football, keep punching you in the mouth, keep taking shots, and just try to stay in this game and perhaps maybe wear out Red Mountain with some ball control.
Yeah, they would love to do that. They've done a lot of run plays here so far, has Skyline. And if you'll notice, a little bit of Red Mountain's linebackers are sucking up to the line of scrimmage just a little bit. So they're trying to draw them in and look for Castle to maybe try to take a shot here. And you mentioned Coach Pafumi does not want to get into a shootout, but they do need to get some points on the board here and remain in this football game here at Red Mountain High School.
Kind of an unusual number for Red Mountain. They've been outscored 139-135. They've lost 4 out of the last 5 games. They get the Mountain Lions tonight. Then they'll be at home next week to take on Dobson, and then get Mountain View. So those are very winnable games here in the East Valley region for Skyline. It's about tonight. It's about the now. Aaron Wood with 5 touchdowns, and Ethan Truesdale has a couple. He has 134 yards. I formation here for Stephen Castle. There goes the tight end in motion. The give is to Aaron Wood running off the left guard, and Aaron Wood's got the first down. a little explosion on the end of that run there to kind of launch forward and get that extra effort to move the sticks there for Skyline.
And how about the motion man that time? Number 65, Jackson O'Brien, 5'10", 235, going across the formation there and leading the way on the edge there for Aaron Wood and the Skyline Coyotes. Excellent job.
Jackson O'Brien, a member of that offensive line there. He is the right guard. This is Wood, starts in, bounces it out, has room to the 20, makes a man miss, still on his feet, and he's going to be tackled on the 10-yard line. Isaac Thompson was there, but Trey Smith coming in. He's playing some defensive line here tonight, spelling injured players. It was Smith there to come back and get that touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, nice job by Aaron Wood. Once he got up to the second level, you saw a little bit of wiggle from him there, able to shake a couple of tacklers, and then it was finally brought down there by 87 for Red Mountain.
Gain of 20 for Wood. They go right back to the ground game, and this time Red Mountain's waiting for it. Jacob Griffin right there. Francis Kumi also right up front there with some stout run defense on that sequence.
Yeah, nice job. Kumi getting off his block that time, keeping square to the line of scrimmage, not providing any additional running lanes by getting his body turned and securing the stop there for the Mountain Lion defense.
So Jackson O'Brien, the right guard, you saw him jump into a tight end spot there in that motion man there, but it was an effective play. Gain of 1 for Wood. Second down at the 9. This is Castle, weaves his way in, and he is going to be close to the end zone. He took a shot at the goal line. The Skyline coaches here in the booth want a touchdown, and it looked close enough, but there was some heads rolling on that play down there on the goal line, James Boothby.
Boy, there was a lot of contact there at the goal line. It looked like Isaac Thompson took the brunt of that one there for Red Mountain from the quarterback, Castle. Skyline was running with a great head of steam. He lowered his headgear and put the boom down on Isaac Thompson, so we'll keep an eye on him here as we go. Also in on that was number 21, Tanner Goodchild for Red Mountain.
Third and goal from the 1-yard line. This is Castle under center. I formation. This will be Castle on the quarterback keep. He'll go right behind the center in between his right guard. He'll punch it in for a touchdown. That was an easy plunge at the goal line right there by the quarterback, Stephen Castle. For Castle, that's his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. And for Skyline, they have pulled within an extra point of cutting this lead in half to 14-6.
Yeah, Castle in the huddle that time told his offensive lineman, I just need you guys to push the pile for 1 yard, and I'll go right up behind you and punch it in for the score, and that's exactly what they did on that one.
Now Coach Pavumi will install that swinging gate here. Looks like they could go for 2. The place kicker is 82. That's Barrett Fessenden. Fessenden 5'7", 150, and the holder is Stephen Castle.
My name is George Washington.
Good snap, good hold, and the rush on the outside is a little tardy from Tanner Goodchild, but nonetheless, the kick is right down the middle. And with 5:48 remaining until halftime, and this East Valley Region football game, our score, Red Mountain 14 and Skyline 7. So the Coyotes get a 1-yard touchdown run from their quarterback, Stephen Castle. It's 14-7. And back deep, Ramses Rivera standing on his own 5-yard line on the near hash. And that's Shaq Daniels also on the other side of the field. Ready to place kick here on this free kick on the near hash at the 40-yard line. This is Thomas, I beg your pardon, this is Barrett Fessenden, the one that just cashed in on that point after try. 14-7, first half. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Network on YouTube. Special thank you to Jeremy Knutson and his staff, our technical producer. Fessenden swings that right leg through it. This is going to be Shaq Daniels. Picks it up around the 15, 10. Oh, got deep right there, but Shaq Daniels took it out across the 20-yard line. We'll call it the 24-yard line there, and nice job for Shaq as he scooped that one up off the ground around the 10 and took it out across the 20-yard line. Nice return there from Shaq Daniels.
Yeah, nice move up the field that time for Shaq Daniels, and nice stop there from Skyline on the special teams unit as well.
Red Mountain and Skyline have faced each other 13 times in the all-time series, and Red Mountain holds the advantage 11-2. Last time they squared off, they played last year, and Red Mountain won it here at home 14-0. Alexander Reynolds has checked in at the tight end position. 3 wide receivers for, looks like Deontay Elliott in there at the Wildcat position, and now unfamiliar with the arrangement. Skyline's going to be forced to burn a timeout. And I like the idea of doing some gadgetry type stuff here, something different. But I would have introduced this scheme of the Wildcat package. I would have done it in the second half, only for the simple fact I wouldn't want to give them a half to maybe make an adjustment or think that one through just a little bit. I would have sprung that on them in about the third quarter.
Yeah, it's a very good point. You don't want to show your cards too early in the ball game here, especially being up 14-7 in this one. It's a pretty quick first half, so you could have made it about 5.5 more minutes before you pulled that one out of the chute, but nonetheless, it's now going to be on film, as they say.
And what it did do was it cost Coach Pafumi to burn a timeout, so we'll see if that comes into play here in the next 5:41. Red Mountain's offense really hasn't been slowed here outside of their own turnover. Otherwise, it would have been a 2-for-2 scoring drive. They're on their way again on the third drive. This is Deontay Elliott. He gives it up, and they're going to be stuffed in the backfield. Ramses Rivera on the jet sweep. Got taken out by Zach Creans. And Daniel To'oto also there. Tough play right there. And Skyline was waiting for it, looked like.
Yeah, Creans once again in excellent position coming up from his linebacker spot there. And credit to his defensive line for clogging it up and allowing him to get to the edge and make the play there for the Coyotes. Excellent job up front.
Almost as if they were waiting for it. Checking into the near side, wide receiver Jared Wilson. Molina's in the slot. This is a high snap. And it'll be Deontay Elliott. And Elliott, with a burst of speed, will run right up the near hash, and he'll pick up about 10 yards before Skyline is there to greet him around the 37-yard line. But a high snap for Deontay Elliott, but he just literally peeled off and ran with that one, and what a burst.
What a great job keeping his composure there on the high snap. Looked like a quarterback sitting back there able to pull that one in, and he took off, accelerated right up the middle, and a nice pickup there for Deontay Elliott and the Mountain Lions.
Alex Sanchez with the tackle, but not before. A 12-yard burst by Deontay Elliott. So this will be see what the Longines scoreboard says. It's third down. We do know that, as Skyline will start to move some personnel around on the defensive line. And I think Coach Pafumi will ask for and take his second timeout here. So on this second, make that 3rd and 3. Third down. We'll check on that. That might have been Coach Pafumi's third timeout. Either way, we know they've taken 2 in the last 3 plays. And this is the point of the game where Coach Pafumi continues to believe. It's a 14-7 ball game. You've already had a turnover, and now you're trying to get off the field on third down here, and that was something that plagued Red Mountain's defense last week. They couldn't get off the field against Basha. Basha converted, I think it was close to 65% from third down on the night, and that was just deadly.
Yeah, when Basha had the football last week against Red Mountain, they made it count almost every drive, long sustained drives, and keeping that defense on the field for Red Mountain and ultimately wearing them out.
6 of 11 for 55%. Here we go, 3rd and 3 from the 37-yard line. This is Deontay Elliott, and Elliott's going to be grabbed down from behind, but not before a penalty marker comes in, and this might be movement up front for Red Mountain. Francisco Saucedo is to be the center tonight. He's starting for Cooley. Ben Bray remains at the left tackle. Charlie Hola at the left guard spot. The right guard tonight is Carson Foster. Foster starting at right guard, the first varsity start for him tonight. 5'11", 233 as a junior. We've seen him on the field this year, but this will be his first start tonight.
Yeah, so far he's doing a great job getting in the mix there. Carson Foster for the Mountain Lions, number 58, a nice number there as well, Carson.
Indeed it is. So this is the D train now. 3 wide receiver package with time, fires near side. Wilson makes the catch short of the first down. And just to make this point, because he is short of the first down, maybe a little youth there, not knowing where the sticks were when he broke off that route. But that was something that you saw Basha's Ty Sifferman do last week. He did it at will. He knew exactly where the sticks were. And boy, he was just too tough to cover in most cases.
Yeah, Sifferman was outstanding last week for Basha, able all over the football field. He did it all for him, kicking, running, catching. He even threw a touchdown pass as well. So Ty Sifferman all over the place last week for the Basha Bears. But he does have a number of, he gets all the good reps, and he's able to make those plays at will.
So with the spot, Red Mountain is awarded the first down, and the Coyotes coaching box here is absolutely beside themselves. So Red Mountain will take the spot of the football, and they literally got it by a lace. So Red Mountain will stay on the field. 4:20 to go. Darren Smith is the quarterback. 4 wide receiver package. Smith back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Delivers over the field. And it is dropped by Zach Molina. And that was an easy one to call. Zach Molina, alligator arm that one, as there were 3 guys emerging in on Zach Molina, and he just dropped the football.
Yeah, he heard footsteps there. He was about to run into 3 Coyote defenders, and they were headhunting, let me tell you. They were ready for him to pull that one in, but unfortunately it drops incomplete for Red Mountain.
And in defense of the quarterback, another perfectly thrown ball right on the numbers. 2nd and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Out to Calamarese Peoples on a wide receiver screen, and nothing doing. There to blow it up, number 44 for Skyline. That's Alex Sanchez, the sophomore outside linebacker. Again, a little read and reaction, and that was a snuff out right there.
Yeah, great job that time. Number 44, Sanchez for Skyline. He had 2 blockers come out on him, able to shed both of those guys and still make the play for the Coyotes. An excellent job.
Jacob Griffin will potentially move over inside now. He'll play that right guard spot, vacated there by Carson Foster. So one quick change there. 3rd and 11. Possession play here for Darren Smith. There goes Molina in motion. Reese Peoples to the near side. One-on-one coverage that they wanted. Smith back to throw. Has time. Steps up in the pocket. He evades the pressure. Dumps it off, and it's caught by Molina at the 40 to the 50 with blockers. 40-yard line, and he's going to be run out of bounds there. And hopefully Reese Peoples is okay, because he took a shot when Molina was pushed into the back of his legs, and they both went out of bounds, but that's a nice there catch and run by Zach Molina.
Yeah, what a great job. First of all, credit to Darren Smith, able to climb the pocket, elude the pressure, and find Zach Molina working hard in the middle there, getting open for his quarterback. And how about Deontay Elliott sealing off the edge here on the near side and allowing Molina to take it up the sideline for a nice gain there for the Mountain Lions.
That gain, 24 yards. Empty set for the D-train. Wants to throw. Steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be dropped. Nice defense there by Skyline. There was great coverage in their secondary, and they came up. O'Brien was there along with Sanchez, and the last one to get up off that pile for Skyline number 76, that was Declan Kyler.
Credit to Darren Smith as well, though. Even though he was about stopped, he never stopped going forward the entire time and picking up positive yardage the whole way for Red Mountain.
So Red Mountain, with the benefit of that great spot on the last run by Deontay Elliott, approaching the 30-yard line here. Ball spotted on the 37-yard line. Empty set for Smith. Takes a hit as he lets it go, and the ball is going to be dropped on the near sideline there by Calamarese Peoples. Solomon, nope, let's see, was that Buchanan? Number 8 on the coverage. JoJo Wallace, the defensive back, was there on the coverage. And James, from your vantage point, was that a drop ball, or can we give the credit to JoJo Wallace with a pass defense right there?
I think JoJo Wallace gets the credit on that one. He had excellent position on the receiver, and he was able to leap up at just the right time, and he might have even got a little fingertip on it. I'm not sure, but credit to the defensive back on that one.
We'll go with that one. Molina in motion. Has a little word with the D-train as he runs by. D-train takes the snap, looking left, flushed out, stops, fires back, looking for Elliott. The ball's going to be intercepted. It's picked off on the near sideline, and that is an interception by Skyline's JoJo Wallace, the young man we just mentioned on the previous play. Intended target was Deontay Elliott, and the D-train just got picked on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, he did. Tried to make something happen there for the football team. Might have forced that one in there a little bit, but unfortunately for Red Mountain, it was picked off, and Skyline's going to have pretty decent field position here to start this drive with 2 minutes and some change on the clock here in the first half.
I had predicted Red Mountain would win this ball game 31-17. A couple of my contemporaries around the circuit say they don't think that Red Mountain will score that many points, more like a 21-17 ball game. So we'll see what happens here. We're 14-7, still in the second quarter, 2:17 to go. Castle out of the gun, wants to throw deep, pumps, fires, and it's too short for Solomon Buchanan. Shaq Daniels was there along with the baby thumper Braden Jansen. And Jansen a little closer to Buchanan, but that pass by Castle just ran out of juice.
Yeah, wasn't quite able to set his feet on that one. Was Castle, as number 80 Francis Kumi was coming up in his face and applying the pressure for Red Mountain.
We're looking for Kumi to get a sack tonight. This is Castle. Quick pass out into the backfield. That ball could be loose. Aaron Wood had started up the play well behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they were trying to throw a backwards pass right there, but you don't see that every day. Aaron Wood was 6-7 yards off the line of scrimmage. He wasn't even in the area where you could see him. In fact, if you're watching this game at home, you might not have even picked him up on the screen. He might not even fit.
Yeah, he was so far across the football field, I don't think the referees even saw the fact that he might have indeed been behind the line of scrimmage, and that could have been a free ball.
That is crazy. I thought initially that would have been a fumble. 3rd and 10 from the 28. Red Mountain showing blitz. Are they sending the house? It's a handoff, a sweep to the far side. This is William McGowan, still on his feet to the edge, and he's going to be tackled there on the far sideline. Isaac Thompson was there to pick up the tackle. And Isaac Thompson closing in on 40 tackles for the outstanding Sam Backer. So that'll bring up a 4th and 10. And one thing that I was going to mention is that when Skyline got the ball back on that interception, which would have been the second turnover tonight, it was just the fact that they give the Coyotes more life. They just continue to give them belief as we inch toward halftime. This is when you're looking for that separation here, and you want to kind of create a little doubt with what their game plan is here in the second half. But already Red Mountain has revealed their cards on the Wildcat, and just the fact that perhaps if they don't get just the fact that they're putting pressure on the quarterback and it's paying dividends.
Yeah, and they're staying alive, and Red Mountain has given Skyline hope. They're going to go into the locker room here. Let's say worst case would be down 21-7, but they got the ball right now. They might tie this thing up before the half. We'll see.
It's a punting situation. This will be Castle from his own 13-yard line. Molina inches in. High snap, good protection, no rush. And Castle puts that right leg into it, and this is Molina on the run. And Molina's going to go down immediately. Great coverage there by Skyline. Special teams tackle there by Tarek Deeb. Deeb, a backup running back, 5'7", $170, putting his weight around down there.
Yeah, he did a great job on the special teams unit there for Skyline. That was an important stop, keeping Red Mountain in their own territory here in the waning moments of the first half.
As James pointed out, a brisk moving first half here. Just a $1:44 to go, and if you're Mike Peterson and this Red Mountain offense, you want to take a shot here, don't you?
Yeah, you want to try to get the ball down the football field, and here it comes.
Smith to the air, fires little skinny post looking for Kalem Reese-Peebles, and unable to connect that time. A little misfire that time for the D-Train.
Yeah, unfortunately that one fell incomplete, but nice coverage there. Skyline trying to not let anything get behind them here in the end of this first half, and they didn't want to give a big play here and have Red Mountain go up even more than they are now by 7.
Jared Wilson has lined up. This is Smith back to throw, steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to take off and run with it. Spin move at the 50, and he's going to be close to the first down. Maybe a couple yards short, but how about Darren Smith with a little pirouette right there over the emblazoned logo at the 50-yard line and got himself a couple more yards on that little move.
A very nice move there right inside the logo at the 50 of Red Mountain, and a nice job securing that football as well as he went into that spin move, making sure no one was going to rip that one out.
The spinorama, that was Drew Brees-esque, if you will. So this is Darren Smith now, in a pistol formation, 3 to the near side. They give the ball to the tailback. This is Deontay Elliott, and Deontay Elliott right up the middle with some big gains once again, and he darn near broke a tackle once he got inside that 40-yard line, and they'll be spotted on the 37-yard line, but not before Elliott rips off another 14 yards.
Yeah, you can feel if he gets out of the open field, he's going to take off and take it to the house. That was another nice carry there for Deontay Elliott, keeping those legs moving the entire time. And a nice move there for the defensive line of Skyline, but Deontay Elliott ran right by him.
Smith to the air. The ball is going to be incomplete. Looked like Darren Smith didn't have his feet set on that particular throw, and he ran out of life on that fastball to Clem Reese-Peebles. But the clock does stop with 38.9 ticks on the clock here in this first half. 14-7 our score. Mountain Lions lead it. Get a touchdown run from Jarquell Garner. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the 36-yard line. Darren Smith back to throw. Here comes the pressure, and they're going to evade the pressure. Pass is going to be picked off on the far sideline, and it is indeed intercepted again. Zach Creans comes up with the pick, and that was one-on-one coverage. I think the intended target was Deontay Elliott again, and that time Skyline looked like the want was just more.
Yeah, the position was excellent that time for Creans, able to wall off Deontay Elliott there. Elliott tried to go over the top and grab that one, but Creans just too much of a body in front of him, not able to come up with it, and he did come up with the interception on that one.
So another change of possession. That's the 3rd turnover of the first half for the Red Mountain Mountain Lions. And we talk about that life and that mindset to live another day. Well, the Skyline Coyotes have dodged a couple of bullets here in this one. And they're going to go into halftime here with a tremendous amount of hope and belief. They are still in this football game.
Yeah, if you would have told them they'd only be down by 7 at the half, I don't think they would have believed you here. But Red Mountain, a number of miscues. They need to clean those up in the half. And the turnovers are going to be deadly if they don't do something about them.
How could you be up 14-7 and be shell-shocked at the break? But that's what's happening here at Red Mountain High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. It is halftime. Our score, Red Mountain 14, Skyline 7. And halftime festivities coming up next. We welcome you back here at halftime. Kevin Derryberry with Gridiron Arizona's Chris Eaton, our guest here at the break. Chris taking some stats down there as he watches the game from the 50-yard line. Chris also my co-host on the weekly production of the Gridiron Scroll. Does a lot of writing for ArizonaVarsity.com. Chris, welcome in on this Friday night. How are you, buddy?
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Doing great. Excited to see the Lions here live.
This is the marquee game of the week on the Gridiron Scroll, and interesting to see your stat sheets over there. You got some numbers, and let's talk about the turnovers first, because that is what's plagued Red Mountain. They could be up 28-7 here, but they've shot themselves in the foot three times here tonight. And this has been a concern here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Red Mountain, of course, had touchdown drives, the first two going 80 and 70 yards. Each of the last three possessions has crossed midfield, but has resulted in a turnover with one fumble, 2 interceptions. Those are the only 3 turnovers in the game. Right now, those 3 turnovers keeping Skyline in the game as it's 14-7 Lions at the half.
You talk about those 2 drives, 80 and 70. It was how they went down the field. It's how they matriculated down the field. They did it with a lot of balance. They did it with some good passes and some great running game there with Beyonce Elliott, Jarquell Garner, and friends. But after those first 2 drives, it's been kind of challenging on what they want to do with the football. And as I mentioned with James, they go to the Wildcat. They're late in that second quarter. Coach Pafumi took an immediate timeout, but then after that sequence, they made a couple different adjustments. They seemed like they were in position to defend the Wildcat.
I was a little surprised that they came out with the Wildcat, because at the time Smith had completed 5 consecutive passes. I was afraid it was going to take them out of their rhythm a little bit. They did bring Smith back into the game on 3rd and 7, and he did complete a couple passes to get him going once again.
It did. When you look at the other side of the coin, offensively for Skyline, they like to get Aaron Wood moving up and down the field, kind of running downhill a little bit, but you have to credit Kyle Anders' defense. They've really bottled him up here in this first half.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and Coach Pafumi kind of told us before the game the difference this year is Aaron Wood last year was able to get those runs up the middle and get 8 or 9 yards, and this year it's been more like 2 or 3 yards, and that was certainly the case with the exception of one 20-yard run that happened on their touchdown drive. For the most part, it's been 2 yards, 3 yards for the half. Aaron Wood, their leading rusher, has 37 yards in 9 carries. So with a 20-yard gain, he's only averaging 4 yards a pop.
Yeah, they've also tried to implement Ethan Truesdale just a little bit, and you see them also running that fly sweep with Solomon Buchanan. Buchanan started this game at fullback, but one of the things that you can see Coach Pafumi and his offense doing, they're trying to be a little more deliberate. After the first 2 series trailing 14-0, you thought, okay, they don't want to get in a track meet. And now all of a sudden they find themselves in a game which is a slugfest, and that's the kind of game that Skyline actually excels at.
It's the kind of game we've seen with Skyline and Red Mountain 3 times in the last 2 years. And I was surprised in that first drive how they did come out and go right back to the line of scrimmage. I was expecting them to be huddling the entire game.
If you will, do you have an update on what's going on between Westwood and Mountain View? That's a game that we have our eyes on here. Much like if you're looking at baseball, you're trying to find out what's going on at AT&T Ballpark in San Francisco. The Dodgers in a pennant race. They're hoping that the Rockies get clubbed by the Washington Nationals tonight. We use that same approach and say, hey, what's going on in the other East Valley Region game between Westwood, Manny Collier, and Brandon Nunez, the signal caller for the Mountain View Toros? That's a big game, and it has a lot of implications on what happens here tonight, because the winner of tonight's game here between Skyline and Red Mountain could hold a share of first place in the East Valley region.
That's certainly the way it looks. They're going to be holding a share because Mountain View is on top of Westwood right now, 29-3 as they approach halftime. Brandon Nunez to Cash Clark on a 35-yard touchdown pass for the last points for Mountain View in that game. I know Nunez has multiple touchdown passes. Another game of interest tonight, Chandler is leading Perry at the half, 23-7. So the Wolves really holding down that high-powered Perry offense that, as we know, has scored 65 or more points 3 weeks in a row.
Chris Eaton from Gridiron, Arizona, ArizonaVarsity.com, our guest here at the break. Red Mountain leads Skyline 14-7. Chris, I'll ask you this before we let you go. We talked about how Red Mountain had gone down 2 times in a row, and they went for an 80-yard scoring drive, a 70-yard scoring drive, and then a couple self-inflicted gunshot wounds. They turn it over 3 consecutive times now. Are you surprised that they went to the Wildcat, got gimmicky after the aerial assault was working and the balance was working?
I'm surprised that they haven't gone to Carter Wheat since the first drive. He had 3 catches in that first drive, and those are the only 3 targets that they've had to Wheat. And really, Skyline had no answer for those the first 3 times that he threw it in that 9-play scoring drive. Interesting.
Chris, so this is the feature game of the week. Where is your crew tonight? Ralph Amston, Just Chili, where are all the fellas tonight?
Just Chili is out at Arcadia in Scottsdale for the Mesquite Arcadia game. Cody Cameron is out at the Higley Castile game, which I know Castile was leading after a quarter. That was the last update I saw on that one. Ralph's kind of going around to a couple different stops in Gilbert. I know he's stopping at that Castile game as well. Probably pop out to Williams Field, I believe would be the other stop he'd probably make.
What do you see happening here in the second half?
Well, Deontay Elliott right now has 6 carries for 56 yards. His last 2 runs have been 12 and 11 yards. I would expect in the second half, particularly this drive that they take at the beginning of the third quarter, because Red Mountain's going to receive the second half kick. I think they're going to pound the rock on this first drive, try to get Deontay the ball maybe at least 4 times on this drive, and get that two-score lead again to give them a little bit of comfort level. Because a 1-score lead, the way that this offense is, and they've been this way all season, as you well know, the Red Mountain has thrown 10 interceptions this season.
Yes, that is something that has plagued them throughout the first 6 games. And Chris, you said something that just kind of drew a thought here as you were speaking, and the idea of them coming out and running the rock with Deontay Elliott, it's probable, but who will be the quarterback is going to be the question, and you wonder if Darren Smith will get the rock for this series to begin the second half, or will they go to Garrett Strail, or will they come back and try to do more of that Wildcat stuff? But I think at some point, you're going to have to get some rhythm, and you're going to have to stay with Darren Smith and try to roll the dice and win the ball, throwing the ball down the field.
I think it'd be a little bit of a desperation move here to bring Strell in. I know they have brought Strell in some games this season, but Smith is 10 for 15 right now in the first half, 156 yards, does have the touchdown pass. I would expect they keep him in, but I think they gear it a little bit more toward the run game this first drive of the third quarter.
Smith has shown some accuracy. He's been sharp, and he's got that plus arm. He's got that fastball.
And the biggest thing right now is this Red Mountain defense, particularly against the pass. Now, Skyline doesn't like to throw it, and it clearly shows. Skyline is 2 of 7 passing right now for 8 yards.
Chris, thank you for being a guest here on our show here at halftime. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Network, on the YouTube network. And as being our guest here, we have some UV glasses for you here. And we want you to enjoy those, because here in the Valley of the Sun, you need to protect your eyes. And the best way to do it was a pair of UV sunglasses. Thanks for being our guest here.
Absolutely. Thanks. We'll talk to you on the Scroll this weekend.
We'll talk to you on the Scroll this weekend. Chris Eaton, our guest, our score here at halftime. Red Mountain 14, Skyline 7. More halftime festivities coming up next.
who have lost their battles. Thank you. Red Mountain football, along with the entire Red Mountain High School community, would like to honor our own breast cancer survivors and their caregivers this evening. Let's show our support for Miss Jean Mangle, Miss Nancy Paulson, Miss Pam Ferguson, Miss Rhonda Wetton, Miss Ann Lightman, Miss Karen Trojanowski, Miss Patty Reuter, Miss Linda Rosnack, Miss Shannon Mute, Miss Sherry Lydiard, Miss Hendrickson, Miss Tackett, and Miss Ligger. We thank you for supporting our efforts to support breast cancer research and advocacy. Let's give these ladies a huge round of applause. Skyline Coyotes. Don't forget to get the 50-50 raffle tickets to support breast cancer research. $1 per ticket or 6 tickets for $5. Winner will be announced for that raffle at the end of the third quarter. And returning to the field for the second half, your Red Mountain Mountain Lions. The Red Mountain football community was saddened to learn the passing of a former football player, class of 2008, Adam Undergrove. He passed away this week, leaving behind a wife and 5 children. He would like to help support his family. They will be holding a car wash at Rooster's Country tomorrow at 8 a.m. That is located in Galveston and Maine. So you can help the family of Adam Undergrove, former Red Mountain football player, by going to the car wash at Rooster's Country at 3731 East Main. That's tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Red sponsors Parker and Sons Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, Electrical, and Water Softening. Building no numbers on your job. Dry force water removal specialist. Call while your water removal needs. Sensoro Homes, custom home remodeling specialist. Dr. Bill Griffin, Woodland Football Split Maintenance Specialist. Christian's Oral Surgery, Dedicated Care Company Committed. There is an entire program with an all one-stop auto shop that truly cares about the customers. Basic football and cheer proudly helping children succeed on and off the field. Force Football Academy, East Coast Premier Youth Football and 7-on-7 organization. And Realty One Group's Monica Tinhani. Looking to buy or sell property? Call Monica Tinhani with Realty One Group for your Red Mountain real estate discounts. Red Mountain Marching Pride would like to acknowledge the sponsors Ward's Lawn and Hire Equipment, Velocity Mechanical, Technical Systems, B&M Communications for your security and AV needs, Milano Music Center in downtown Mesa, Happy Marketplace, Music and Arts, Superstition Sunrise Country RV Resort, Napa Auto Parts on Elliott Road, and Manlo CC Pizza at Howard Road in the city. Red Mountain will see the second half kickoff. Skyline is elected to come to North goal here in the third quarter of play.
Special thank you to Chris Eaton from Gridiron, Arizona, our guest here at halftime. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Booby. 14-7 contest, and James, you can only imagine what was said at halftime in both locker rooms here for this one.
Yeah, both these teams need to rein it in and get back to basic fundamentals. And it's still a tight ball game, anyone's ball game here as we kick off this second half.
Fessenden deep to Rivera, a yard deep to the 10, angles to the 15, the 20, still on his feet, trying to bounce it outside, and he'll just steamroll a would-be tackler, but Ramses Rivera on that return, running hard and with an awful lot of physicality.
Yes, he was running guys over that time and never stopped his legs moving. He looked like he might have broke one there for just a moment, but credit to the special teams unit of Skyline for staying with the Rocket and making sure and getting him on the ground.
You could tell that there was some no quit in Ramses Rivera right there, and had he got to the outside, look out.
Yeah, he was going to turn on the Jets.
This is Garrett Strail starting the second half at quarterback in an empty set. 4 wide receivers. Strail wants the pass, throws outside. Rivera makes the reception at the 30-yard line, and he's got the first down. So on the first play of the second half, Garrett Strail through Ramses Rivera, gain of 15 yards, and the Mountain Lions will move the chains here on that first play.
Yeah, nice job, Garrett Strail. Quick hitter to the outside. Ramses Rivera pulled the reception in right away and got to where he needed to be, just ahead of the chains, and took on a couple defenders there and ultimately picked up the first down for Red Mountain, and they're going to start moving here.
Garrett Strail, the quarterback, comes in for relief of Darren Smith. Strail, a senior, 5'8", 185. They'll empty it out for him again, 4 wide receivers. This is Elliott in motion. It's going to be a zone read for Garrett Strail. He'll take on the middle linebacker around the 38-yard line. He'll run him over and end up getting tackled around the 41-yard line. But how about Garrett Strail meet Alex Sanchez? Goodbye.
Yeah, nice job there. Strail plunging ahead for Red Mountain. And Sanchez, not much he could do there on the Skyline side of things. They faked the give to Deontay Elliott in the backfield there, and the Red Sea parted, if you will, up the middle. And Garrett Strail took advantage, got about 5 or 6 yards on that one.
This is the one dimension that Strail gives this football team outside of the pass game from Darren Smith, is just that ability to run the rock like that with those zone reads. Elliott flanked to the right on a play fake. It's a pass caught over the middle to Carter Wheat, and Carter Wheat was upended immediately, and he is writhing in pain right now. We will wait for the official call here, but Carter Wheat took a shot, I believe, on his dome, and he continues to be in some discomfort here.
Yeah, unfortunate turn of events there for Red Mountain, and especially Carter Wheat. He was upended on that football play and landed on his head and landed on his neck there. We'll pray that he's okay and that he gets up off the football field here very shortly.
Garrett Strail delivered a high ball, and quite frankly, Carter Wheat, with a acrobatic catch, went up and brought that one in. It was a snag with 2 hands, and then on his way down, as he made that football move, he was just upended by the defensive back, and it took him out right away. And it was the awkward fall, James, that is the concern for everybody here right now.
Yeah, he landed completely upside down and landed on his head. Looks like he smashed his, did something to his neck there as he was ripping his helmet off as soon as he stopped and came down to a complete stop. So we're hoping that he's going to be okay here and show some signs of movement.
Carter was literally writhing in pain, and they rolled over, and we'll have to continue to monitor this here. There's about 4 or 5 people over the top of Carter Wheat right now. Wheat just hauled in his 3rd catch, that one for about 13 yards. He has been a playmaker here tonight when he's been given the opportunity. Wheat 6'4", 224, a BYU commit, right now on the deck, and you can see some of his teammates all out to the field here, one by one, on the playing field, as they are there in support of their fallen comrade right now.
Yes, a very unfortunate scene on the football field right now. Carter Wheat, much beloved by his football comrades here, if you will. And, boy, he was upended that time and came down hard. Nice job going up again. He's been very productive over the last couple games, really come on here for the Mountain Lions in recent weeks. And we hope that he's going to get up here very soon.
Carter's on his back now. His lower extremities are crossed. Mike Peterson is above him. There are 3 trainers that are administering first aid right now to Carter Wheat. It's difficult to suggest what may or may not have happened there, but again, it was the fall after the contact. It was a clean hit. It was a very good defensive tackle. When you're 6'4", the bigger they fall, the bigger they are, the harder they fall was the old cliche. And on that time, number 99 definitely took a pop and a tumble to the ground.
Yeah, it was a definite case of momentum there. Carter Wheat going up to get that football, and the defender for Skyline obviously has to wrap him up low. You mentioned the size there. No choice but to try to get him around the legs and take him out. And just under that force, he was able to upend Carter Wheat, and he landed right on his head.
We're going to take a break. You're watching Red Mountain Football on YouTube on the Red Mountain Football Network. More on Carter Wheat right after this. We welcome you back to Red Mountain High School, and we are pleased to inform you that Carter Wheat is up, and he walked off the field proverbially under his own power. Did have a little help there, but he does look a little dazed and confused, if you will. Perhaps it was that tumble to the ground and the shot he took on the dome there. So we are ready to play some football. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. That's Deontay Elliott in motion. This is Garrett Strail on the zone read. He'll keep it, and a penalty marker comes down in the middle of the field. Strail stretched out to the 45-yard line, and now this is the part of the game where you can see the chippiness and the nastiness and the ugliness of this rivalry start to surface here. It's a 14-7 ball game, and if there was any thought on Red Mountain's side that that was a dirty hit or that was a shot on Carter Wheat, I think it was the excitement after the hit that Skyline displayed there on making a clean hit that maybe Red Mountain could take exception to that.
Yeah, it's a bit chippy right now down there, especially after that injury to Carter Wheat. But that play there was a design quarterback keeper to Strail. They faked it to Deontay Elliott, and Ben Bray pulled around and had the responsibility of getting that peel back block, but not able to get to the edge quick enough and clear the way for Garrett Strail.
So the penalty is assessed as Skyline. It would appear to be an unnecessary roughness call. There's a 15-yard penalty, and now Red Mountain 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line of Skyline with a 7-point lead. There's a high snap, and Garrett Strail is going to cover the football up on the 47-yard line of Red Mountain. And more challenges here up front for Red Mountain. The wheels of the car are starting to fall off here.
Yeah, Red Mountain can't seem to get out of their own way here on this drive. Very high snap that time. And Strail no way he could do anything with that one. He was lucky to cover that one up and retain possession for the Mountain Lions.
So Mike Peterson will ask for and take a timeout right here, and he's going to bring the troops together and have a conversation. At the very least, he's going to get that offensive unit back together. We'll have a conversation with Coach Diedrich and get that line straightened out. Francisco Salcedo, I believe, is the presumed center. Costa Cooley's out, going to be out for a couple, 3 weeks. We'll keep an eye on that, but this is a makeshift arrangement right now, and I used the term last week, patchwork. This is a patchwork offensive line here tonight.
Yeah, they got to dance with the one that brought them. They got to play with the guys they have on the football field here tonight, and that's exactly what Coach Peterson and his staff is trying to do, get them in the best position to be successful, and they want to get something going on offense here and get that ball in the end zone.
Elliott, 6 carries, 56 yards in the first half. Had a 36-yard touchdown reception. So Elliott over 100 yards from scrimmage in the first half. Mountain Lions lead it here 14-7, and after that botched snap, they'll look down the barrel of a 2nd and long. They give it to Elliott. He'll go up the middle, gets a lot of it back, tries to spin out of another tackle, and then coming from behind, they'll level him with Skyline. Number 77, Brendan Aiken there. Looked like he came back and got a lot of Deontay Elliott on the 2nd try.
Yeah, nice defensive effort there from Skyline and getting a stop on Deontay Elliott. A little inside trap there. They pulled the backside guard and the center, and that cleared out the hole there for Deontay Elliott to hit full straight ahead for a nice gain.
Gain of 11 for Elliott. 3rd and 17 from the Skyline 41-yard line. 3 wide receivers for Garrett Strill. Here comes a blitz. They set up a screen to Elliott over the middle of the field. Elliott bounce to the outside. Up the sideline is going to be tackled on the 30-yard line. Looked like a horse collar right there. That time coming up to make the tackle was JoJo Wallace. No penalty marker on the play, but another nice play there, and Garrett Strill did just enough to get himself free to dump off that pass to Elliott. Nice screen, well executed.
Very well executed there. Tunnel screen, a nice play call on there for the Red Mountain offense. Jailbreak blitz coming up the field very quickly for Skyline, but Strail able to dump it over the top and get it to Deontay Elliott. Use a little bit of wiggle there on the outside and pick up another nice gain there for Red Mountain.
Coach Peterson will pass up a 46-yard field goal attempt. They'll go for it. This is Garrett Strail looking for the end zone. Garrett Strail on his horse to the 20, and he's going to be tackled on the 15-yard line. Garrett Strail with a nice job of running the football there, and he was a threat to pass the rock the entire way. Skyline waited, not knowing what he was going to do, and waited too long, and Strail got the first down with his feet.
Yeah, nice job, Garrett Strail surveying the field. He knew nothing was open down there. Great coverage on the back end from Skyline, and a very nice peel back block there by number 90, AR Alexander Randall, coming back and hitting number 84 for Skyline, and I think his pads may still be messed up on the sideline, Kevin.
Gain of 14 yards for the quarterback scramble. Garrett Strail under center. There goes Alexander Randall in motion. The turn, the give to Elliott. Starts in. Tries to bounce it out and then go right behind Randall again, and he'll pick up a couple of yards right there. Boy, Randall does such a great job defensively, but he also possesses a skill set to create a hole for you, and he can blow some people up on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, he's purveying that proverbial fullback there on that play, coming across in motion, shuffling at the line of scrimmage, and opening up a hole there for Deontay Elliott. Unfortunately, Elliott not able to get it to the outside and get the home run.
7:25 to go, third quarter, 14-7, working left to right. We're in all black on the Red Mountain Lions. This is Strail under center. The lone setback is Deontay Elliott, and there is a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. Preliminary indication encroachment against Skyline, and that'll give Red Mountain a free 5.
Fans, listen to the Lions Den podcast with head coach Mike Peterson every Wednesday. Show host Kevin Derryberry enjoys conversation with Coach Peterson about tonight's game against the Skyline Coyotes, Chalk Talk, the varsity player of the week, and a preview of next week's opponent, the Mountain View Toros, in the epic Battle of Brown Road. The Lions Den podcast heard every Wednesday.
Strail, the turn, the give to Elliott. And Elliott's going to try to squirt through the seam, stays on his feet, busts in the end zone for a touchdown. 9 yards to pay dirt. Touchdown, Deontay Elliott. His second of the night and his 10th of his young career.
YAC, yards after contact for Deontay Elliott. A nice push up front by the offensive line for Red Mountain. And once again, he approaches the line of scrimmage with a great body lean. He plays behind his pads, able to run over a couple of guys on the way to the end zone, and another 6 for the Mountain Lions.
The change of direction inside that pile is amazing. The footwork that he has, and then just how strong the lower extremities are for Deontay Elliott. My goodness, what a powerful run on the inside.
Great job churning those legs every single time, and he is not going to go down without a fight, and you're not arm tackling Deontay Elliott.
That's the 3rd touchdown in 2 games for Deontay Elliott, and that was his 10th of his varsity playing career. Of course, he picked up a couple of those over there at Desert Ridge for Jeremy Halfcock, but Deontay Elliott with a big touchdown run, and the Connor Gardner 1-point conversion attempt is good, and with 6:54 to go in this 3rd quarter, a much-needed touchdown for the Mountain Lions. They now lead it 21-7.
Yeah, it's going to give them a great bit of confidence here going back on defense. And a nice drive overall there for Red Mountain. They picked up a couple breaks on a penalty, but ultimately were able to punch it in, get the score, and move the football down the field.
That was a big touchdown after the injury to Carter Wheat. We continue to watch the activity. You see Ty McElroy over tending to Carter Wheat, and Carter Wheat has removed his shoulder pads now, so number 99 is without the pads on, but it's difficult to speculate as you see some of his teammates come over and console him, whether it's a head injury or maybe it's potentially a shoulder. Again, it's tough. It's something above the chest, you would think anyway, huh?
Yeah, he got it in the neck there. When you get compressed like that, that helmet goes down into your clavicle a little bit, and he might have got just a bad stinger. We can only hope that's all it is. And he'll heal up really quickly as he is a well-needed asset for this football team.
Another great kick by Gardner, fielded by Wood at the 5. And he angles out to the 15, to the 20, and he's decked at the 20-yard line.
87 Trey Smith on the special teams tackle there for Red Mountain. A nice job as Aaron Wood tried to find something and do a little cut back there and got it right in the ear hole from Trey Smith.
Jesus Vasquez playing some inspired football on special teams tonight. He was there waiting if Smith wasn't able to corral that tackle. Hiram Bourne also down there getting it done. Of course, they gave up a big one last week, a 98-yarder to Cameron Mateen of the Basha Bears. And here we go, back to work, 21-7 now. Red Mountain has the lead. This will be Stephen Castle into the pistol. Red Mountain showing blitz. It's the give on the sweep to Wood. Turns the corner, has space up the sideline, and that is the best run of the night for Aaron Wood. And the Skyline Coyotes about a 14-yard carry right there on that jet sweep.
Yeah, credit to the offensive line that time. They blocked down, got to the outside, were able to seal off the edge, and Red Mountain lost contain on that one, and that allowed Aaron Wood to get to the outside and pick up that first down for the Coyotes.
The longest run of the night for Skyline. Will caught 14, 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Low snap for Castle, gives it into the belly of Aaron Wood. Breaks the tackle, gets to that second level, and Aaron Wood with back-to-back big-time runs. This one goes for about 13 yards, and now the Skyline Coyotes have their run game going here after just 2 plays.
Yeah, very impressive run that time from Aaron Wood, able to keep his pads low to the ground, a very low center of gravity, take on tacklers with no problem, and he keeps those legs churning, much as Deontay Elliott as well.
Now trailing by 14, the tempo is picked up. This is Truesdale. Truesdale's bumped off the play, and then it's going to be stuck in the backfield for a loss. Nice defense there, shooting the gap there and picking up a TFL is number 9, Braden Jansen, out of that linebacker spot. I'll say it again, 5'8", $170. The baby thump doing some thumping.
Yeah, he did a great job coming up that time. He had a host of help that time from his teammates, but ultimately able to secure the tackle and come in and make the play. Braden Jansen, excellent job for the Mountain Lions.
So Red Mountain will run a man off the field there, and after it was all said and done, I think Coach Pafumi took a timeout for Skyline. So one of these two teams might have had an extra player on the field.
Yeah, might have 12 men on the field there. 2nd down and 10 upcoming here. And you have to wonder what Skyline's going to do. If they're going to take a shot, or try to keep it on the ground, as Aaron Wood has had a number of productive runs on this drive alone. He's able to move the chains by himself right now for Skyline.
Just passing along and sharing some good news amongst my friends here in the Brethren. Rockies won it 5-2 over the Nationals. Just keeping our global listening audience in tune with Major League Baseball and what's happening around the bigs. Arizona has been eliminated. I think everybody's aware of that. Don't want people to be puzzled out there. All right, here we go.
Just a PSA, right?
2nd and 10 from their own 48-yard line. This will be Castle under center. The tailback is Wood. On a play fake, Castle rolls to the near side, wants to throw, has a man, and he's going to be wide open, and he makes the reception at the 15, and it's going to be tackled inside the 10-yard line. William McGowan on that reception. He got past the secondary, and Stephen Castle dropped one right there on a dime.
Boy, what a pass and what a catch that time. Full extension there for William McGowan on that reception. He had his defender beat by about 2 yards. But a nice job closing there for Red Mountain's defense, but not before Skyline got a big chunk on that one.
On this drive, you get a 13-yard run from Wood, a 12-yard run, and now a 42-yard pass play going up over the top. This is Wood starting right, cuts it back to the near side, and is going to be stuck around the 8-yard line with a host of mountain line tacklers right there. Trey Smith there along with Anthony Giraldi. And how about Trey Smith with a couple of tackles here tonight? He walked on to this football team. He's played the game in years past, but left the game due to health reasons, was in good shape, walked into the coach's office a couple weeks ago and said, hey, are there any spots for me? And here he is, wearing number 85, Trey Smith, a junior. And he is a big boy. Castle wants to throw, looking for the end zone, and the ball is going to be incomplete. He was looking to hit Zach Creans on the far pylon in the corner there, and before he could get that play off, we have a stop and play at the line of scrimmage, James.
Yeah, Crean the intended target that time, but we were going to have a procedure penalty here. I would imagine it's going to be a false start against Skyline, so that'll back them up, and they'll have to try another one here.
I'm just thinking that it's about 80 time. It's about Francis Coomey time. And I don't know if it's going to be here or when, but I'm thinking Francis Coomey is due to make a big play here. So after the 5-yard procedure penalty is marked off, Stephen Castle right back up to the line of scrimmage. 14 on the play clock as Skyline is in the red zone here for the first time this evening. There goes their tight end in motion. That is Halverson. And now we're getting another stop here. Now Coach Pafumi will take a timeout. I believe that's the second timeout of the half taken by Skyline.
Yeah, they are burning up early here in the second half of action. A very tight ball game. You're going to want those timeouts later on, especially in the fourth quarter. Got to be careful.
So it'll be a 30-second timeout. And Coach Pafumi sensing that this is a big play and a big spot for his football team, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Again, knowing he can't get into a shootout here. But the game that he's involved in right now, you have to hand it to Skyline, shorthanded or not. They've battled here in this one.
Yeah, they are still in this football game and threatening here inside 5 minutes of the third quarter. You mentioned Coach Pafumi does not want to waste this possession or this play for that matter, and look for them to take a shot at the end zone here and try to pull something on Red Mountain.
And typically, when you run into the scenario of having 3 turnovers on those unforced errors, that's a pretty significant hole to dig yourself out of.
It is indeed, and most of the times when you have committed 3 turnovers, you are not typically up 21-7.
That is true. So, Coach Pafumi now with the play that they want. It'll be Castle with 3 wide receivers. Solomon Buchanan has checked in now. He is flanked to the right of Stephen Castle. There goes JoJo Wallace in motion. They give it to Wallace, and he's looking for a hole. Has a hole, and he's into the 5-yard line, and he's going to be stopped around the 4-yard line. So a nice run there by JoJo Wallace, and he showed you a little patience there, found that crease, and then hit the hole hard.
Yeah, he was able to accelerate very well as he got to the outside there. A nice job by Red Mountain keeping contained on the outside. They forced the action back inside, but what a great burst there from the running back of Skyline.
So now the Coyotes set up with a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Ball spotted on the far hash. This will be Castle under center. The deep back is Creans. The give is to Creans, and he is going to rumble into the end zone for a 4-yard touchdown run.
Here we go.
So Creans rumbles into the end zone for a touchdown, and it is now 21-13 with still 3:49 to go in this 3rd quarter. Once again, we have ourselves a ball game.
Yes, we do indeed. Plenty of football left here in this one. And Red Mountain lets Skyline take the football all the way down the field, score it here, and they're going to draw to within 7 here, pending this extra point.
So there's a good hold, and a 1-point conversion attempt by Barrett Fessenden is good. Our score, 21-14, Mountain Lions back after this brief timeout. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network.
Barrett Fessenden to kick off. To receive, Francis Rivera and Shaq Daniels.
21-14 after the Zach Creans 4-yard touchdown run. For Creans, that's his first touchdown run of the season for the Skyline Coyotes. Red Mountain will get the Toros next week in the Battle of Brown Road. There's a pooch kick, and making the fair catch for Red Mountain.
By number 89, Gage Skidmore.
It was a new number. That's Gage Skidmore out there. Gage, a sophomore, 6'1", 200 pounds, and he's got a contingent here. They just gave him a nice ovation.
Yeah, the fan club is here for him tonight, cheering him on here on the Red Mountain sideline. We'll take the show on the road next week and head up to Lindsay and Brown, visit the Mountain View Toros. That's always a good battle.
And we mentioned at the break, the Toros were up 29-3 over Westwood. So Manny Collier, his game is being slowed down here just a little bit. All right, here comes Francisco Saucedo. Looks like he's going to be the center on this drive. Ramses Rivera lines up to the far side. 2 wide receivers to the near side. We have not seen a lot of Lobo tonight, but this is Garrett Strell for the 2nd series in a row. Strell fires far side, caught by Rivera, and Rivera tries to spin out of a tackle and is unable to do so, but he's hit right away. Alex Sanchez, also there, number 44 and 55, also there in the neighborhood, playing a game of roughhouse. Gabe Moore.
Yeah, it's getting physical down there. It's been physical the whole night, and especially up front with this big offensive line for Skyline, or excuse me, big defensive line. They have a big offensive line as well, but a lot of pushing and shoving going on down in the trenches there tonight.
Update on Carter Wheat right after this. High snap, and it's bobbled, but Elliott makes the catch, and he is going to be bottled up, but somehow Elliott turned what should have been a tackle for a loss and a play blown up in the backfield. He turned that into a looked like about a 5-yard, 6-yard run. It's going to be a 3-yard net gain, but that high snap disrupted the timing.
Yeah, very heady play there. Deontay Elliott able to keep his cool and keep control of that football, putting it away in traffic and picking up yardage the entire time. What an effort.
Right shoulder on Carter Wheat, right upper body, and then the right knee of Carter Wheat with ice right now as he's literally laying down on the trainer's table here. And there's another penalty marker thrown on the field, and I believe that Mike Peterson was able to save a delay of game penalty and get a timeout. So both coaches using their timeouts here rather freely here in this 3rd quarter in a 7-point ball game, and it is just nothing like you drew it up.
Yeah, you can't help but think that they don't. They're trying to avoid any miscues at this point, being a 7-point game, 21-14 Red Mountain. And you don't want to make any errors. Definitely don't want to have any more turnovers if you're either squad here, as every yard and every point is critical.
Whenever you see something like that, the very first thing you think about is going, I got to unplug that for a second, just to say apologize, sorry about that. You guys might want to reboot, just something to say, hey, we nicked it.
When in doubt, reboot. That's what I say all the time.
All right, Garrett Strail has started this second half. This is his second series. He's now under center for this third free play from the 40-yard line. And Skyline showing blitz. Strail's going to back out of it and change the play. Elliott, the deep back. He's got Randall with him. It's Elliott, gets the call. And Elliott goes up the middle, and he's stuck for no gain. So it'll be with the forward progress. Elliott will get 1 yard. To'oto there, clogging the middle. Number 42, Daniel To'oto, along with Brendan Aiken. Aiken, too, is just a specimen. We saw him before the ball game. 6'4", 295, JP. He's a big, big boy.
Yeah, he clogged it up that time, able to penetrate into the defense or into the backfield of Red Mountain that time and wreak havoc there as Deontay Elliott got the handoff, but did not get much after that.
Great pump by Gardner, and back deep making the fair catch is number 24, Jay Wingo. And what a good snap there. But that was a nice kick there by your punter, Connor Gardner.
Yeah, great kick down the football field for Connor Gardner. And he put his defense in a great position here. They're going to take over at the 25-yard line as Skyline, trailing by 7. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve for this Red Mountain defense.
It is a one-possession ball game right now with the final minute 45 to go. Skyline will send out 2 wide receivers to the near side. That's Lindley is 1. They'll run it to Wood. Runs a sweep to the far side, and he turns the corner, and Aaron Wood now really starting to pick up things. And that is another big-time run there. Gashed off about 9 yards. We'll see where they spot him. I believe they're going to spot him after a 6-yard run, but Aaron Wood starting to get going here for this offensive game for Skyline.
Yeah, Wood is very dangerous if he's able to get to the edge. He takes on tacklers as well out there.
He gets better as the game goes on. Again, running right, and it didn't look like much was there. A little juju with a shoulder dance, running right and then cutting it inside and running right behind his left tackle before Jacob Griffin ran into him and stuffed the yardage any further.
Yeah, nice job getting off that block. Jake Griffin that time able to swim his guy, get up and under, and make that stop for the defense.
Francis Kumi will hustle off, and jumping in on the action is Charlie Holba, wearing number 55. Holba has really come on the last couple of weeks, starting to make a big-time difference playing defense. A two-way kid, Charlie Holba. And they go up to the fullback. This is Buchanan, and Buchanan has the first down as he falls forward, but he'll fall right into the open arms there of Anthony Geraldi.
Yeah, nice job that time by the Skyline offense. They had the right play call. Red Mountain tried to shift down a little bit there, and Charlie Ola going into that 2-eye position, but everyone blocking down up front for Skyline, and another first down for the Coyotes.
Can't repeat this enough, but this is the exact type of game that Angelo Pafumi wants to play with the Skyline Coyotes, trailing by 7 as they enter in the fourth quarter. And there's a ball over the middle, in and out of the hands of the tight end. That was Creans. He couldn't catch it. The ball was picked off by Evan Alta off the carom, and that is a big-time turnover for Red Mountain. They pick one up on the giveaway category this time.
Yeah, Alta with deep thirds responsibility, maybe middle thirds on that play, actually there in the zone defense for Red Mountain. Able to come up with that one, hung out and waited, reached out and fell right into his arms after the inadvertent throw there from Castle, and Red Mountain's going to be in business here.
For Alta, his second interception of the season. That's the 10th pick for Kyle Anders' defense. The lone setback is Deontay Elliott. The pitch to Elliott, student body left. And there's a holding penalty coming up here against Red Mountain as Elliott continues to work hard. And some tough running right there, but the running lanes just weren't there for Deontay Elliott. But we will find out what the infraction was. And I can tell you this, stuffing things up in the middle and making it very difficult was the big fella, Daniel To'oto, once again.
Yes, Skyline's defense has turned it up here in recent moments, and they have brought the intensity. They are closing it out on the outside, allowing nothing to get outside of them. They're forcing all the action back inside where they have help, and they're doing a great job playing football right now.
15-yard, well, let's see. That's a long, long way back. I did not see what the infraction was. Looked like a 15-yard penalty of some sort. So Francisco Saucedo back there, he is the center. It's Garrett Strell, he's been the quarterback for the second half here for Red Mountain. 3 wide receivers now in. And that is how quarter number 3 comes to a close. First 36 minutes in the books from Red Mountain High School. And this battle of East Valley Region foes, our score. Moving to the fourth quarter, Red Mountain 21. Skyline 14. Stay with us. Fourth quarter action coming up next.
23 yards on that kick. Next is the blue team. About the 28, finally, being for the black team. And that one was about 25 yards.
We welcome you back inside the Lions Den. All right, check that. We are at the Lions Den.
Yeah, we are.
We are in the Parker & Sons press box high atop Red Mountain High School. Garrett Strell will begin this fourth quarter. Strell has started this second half and gone all the way. We have not seen Darren Smith here in this second half. So it'll be first and 25 from their own 36-yard line. Strell back to pass. He looks over the middle, caught by Michael Pearson. The tight end got drilled right away. Zach Creans once again lower the boom, and he has picked up his game defensively. But Michael Pearson with his first reception of the year right there on that catch.
And credit to Pearson for standing strong in there and pulling that one in under heavy pressure. And Creans, how about that stick there?
That was a pretty big-time stick. That would have been a ball caught by Carter Wheat. Carter Wheat still on the shelf. His return is doubtful. Second and 20 from the 41-yard line on a delay. They go to Deontay Elliott, and he's pulled down from the back of his shirt tail and thrown to the ground. I think that was Creans and Daniel To'oto, I beg your pardon. It was 42 that was on the ground and used his upper body strength to just rip Deontay Elliott down, and that is no easy task.
Full-grown man play right there from To'oto. A nice job of pulling down Deontay Elliott as he was about ready to accelerate and go over the top.
Can't teach 6'3", 245. East Valley Region honorable mention a year ago. Daniel To'oto lined up on the end now. Here he comes going after Strell, and Strell steps up in the pocket. Strell's going to tuck it and run it, and he's going to be stuck at the 40-yard line. An outstanding open field tackle by the Skylines, Ethan Truesdale, to come up and snuff that one out, and that is a big-time defensive stand by Skyline as they trail it here by 7 points in this fourth quarter. They're going to get the ball back.
What a nice job of Truesdale coming up in the open field there against Garrett Strell, buzzing his feet, able to square up on him and drop him immediately. A nice defensive play there for the Coyotes.
The longer this game goes on, the longer Skyline believes that they have life here. Good punt there by Gardner, and coming down there to touch it on that team for Red Mountain, their special teams group. It was Luis Arredondo Arredondo, a senior cornerback, getting some PT on special teams here tonight, and did a nice job there to get down there and cover that one up. So you think about it and you say, okay, well, Stephen Castle, he doesn't want to throw the football. They don't throw the rock very often. They've done it a handful of times. But what they do is they'll throw it just enough to get you to think about it, and they'll come back and try to run it right up your yin-yang with the run game. So,
yeah, they will. They will keep the run fresh and keep that pass in your mind as well.
This is Buchanan on a sweep with a big hole, and he got tackled there in the middle of the pile. It looked like Evan Alta made the tackle, and he did. And Georgie Ramirez out there playing with a bad wheel. We haven't called his name since the first quarter, but he's out there playing a heck of a ball game. But that was a big run there by Buchanan.
Yeah, great carry there for Buchanan and the Skyline Coyotes. Picking up a nice chunk of yardage there on first down.
2nd and 4 from the 24-yard line. The quick give up the middle. It looks like that was the fullback, Solomon Buchanan. He'll just tear off 7 yards right up the gut for this Red Mountain defense.
Yeah, credit to the center and the left guard for Skyline that time, getting a great push. The quarterback going under center and giving the quick dive to Buchanan.
9:18 to go, trailing by 7. Castle directing some traffic. They'll line up as wide receiver out to the near side. That's Garrett Lindley. One-on-one coverage there if they want to take it. They run a sweep again. This is Truesdale. Truesdale will be taken on by double deuces Georgie Ramirez, and Georgie did a nice job there to stay at home and take on Truesdale, but Truesdale had that low center of gravity and put a little pop on Georgie Ramirez. Let's see what this penalty flag's all about.
Yeah, George had to hold on for dear life on that one there on that tackle, but he was able to do so and ultimately bring him to the ground.
We know how good Georgie Ramirez is, the super sophomore, and how talented he is, how strong he is. But you want to talk about how strong Ethan Truesdale is. When you make Georgie Ramirez have to work and put that second and third effort in to bring you down, you know that Truesdale's bringing it.
Yeah, he's bringing a great head of steam.
So the penalty will push it back. It'll be 1st and 20 from their own 20. Castle will give it off. No, Castle's going to keep it, go up the middle, and they're going to stack them up on the 21-yard line. Maybe 1 yard gain for Castle. Braden Jansen, I think, was down there along with Jacob Griffin.
Yeah, and great interior work there by the defensive line for Red Mountain, able to stuff that one right away, and nothing doing for the Skyline offense on that one.
So Castle kept that one for himself, went right up the gut, and had, well, he'll get forward progress. He'll get just a yard. So flank to the right of Castle is Aaron Wood. Back to throw is Castle, sets up a screen to Wood, makes the reception, and he's going to be sandwiched on the 20-yard line. Again, no gain. Trey Smith was down there, and Francis Cooley, and also Isaac Thompson, the in factor, getting it done. Low center of gravity once again. IT a little lower than all of them.
Well, that's exactly what you want to see if you're Kyle Anderson, the defensive coordinator for Red Mountain. Everyone swarming that football, multiple guys, multiple hats on the ball. Each time, a nice defensive effort there from Red Mountain.
So the Mountain Lion defense stiffening here late in this 4th quarter. They have a 7-point lead at 21-14. Skyline will face a 3rd and 19. Is this where Kyle Enders dials up a blitz right here? Do they go after the quarterback?
Bring the house.
Tanner Goodchild lines up defensively at cornerback. He'll take on Garrett Lindley in one-on-one coverage. And now we will have a delay of game. This will go against Skyline, and that's going to push them back 5 more yards. And that's not the direction Coach Buffoni's team wants to go right now.
Definitely not. Skyline's trying to bring in some extra blockers there up front to stave off that blitz coming from Red Mountain. And
3rd and 26 from their own 15-yard line. Castle back to throw, looking for the home run ball. Near side, looking for Lindley. The ball is caught on the 47-yard line. Reception made. Castle to Garrett Lindley.
Well, that's just great throw and catch there for Skyline. Castle found Lindley on the near side of the football field. Evan Olmsted, number 2, in coverage for Red Mountain. But the wide receiver had great position on that one, able to go up and pluck it out of the air for the completion and the first down.
Castle to Lindley, gain of 32 yards. 1st and 10, Skyline. Big play right there. This is Castle to the outside, going to Lindley, getting down the sideline at the 40-yard line. He's tackled right there. And Georgie Ramirez making that touchdown-saving tackle, but now Skyline, with all kinds of enthusiasm and all kinds of confidence now, they're moving the rock after a 3rd and 19 was completed for a 32-yard gain.
What a play that time by Castle, running down and almost across the line of scrimmage.
This is Wood starting inside. They're going to stretch him out to the outside, and Francis Coomey had him wrapped up.
There's Coomey coming in there and making a play for Red Mountain. Been waiting for him to get off the schneid here tonight and start being effective, and he did so right there for Red Mountain's defensive line.
Strung him out and great pursuit to the football, and a very tough runner to bring down on Aaron Wood. 6:33 and counting. 21-14 Mountain Lions with the lead, and now we have I think it's going to be an illegal substitution. So Skyline will be sent back 5 more yards. The Coyotes, despite a couple of self-inflicted wounds here on this drive, they're still in the mix here. And none bigger than that 32-yard pass. And Castle showed you some accuracy. The coverage wasn't bad by Goodchild, but that was just a great catch by Lindley and a super throw.
Yeah, it was a great catch. He was able to hold off the defender just enough, kind of screened him off there, a little basketball move, and what a great reception on the near sideline for Lindley.
Coach Bafumi is 51-24, 7+ years at the helm of Skyline. 2nd and 16. Castle to the air, rolls to the near side, wants to throw. He does throw, and the ball is going to be caught by Solomon Buchanan on the 35-yard line. He was blitzed by Isaac Thompson, and Thompson did his best to blow up that play, threw his shoulder and body in there and everything, and Buchanan still hold down that football.
Yeah, Thompson came up with bad intentions that time from his secondary position, but what a job by Castle, scrambling out of the pocket, under pressure the whole time by Jake Griffin, but able to find the receiver and deliver the football.
2nd and 4 from the Red Mountain 35-yard line. This is Castle. Castle's going to keep it and run it, and he's going to be tackled. I think Charlie Holda got a hand in there, but Giraldi ended up with the finish, but I think Holda slowed him down just a bit.
Yeah, Charlie Ola made a great job stopping the initial charge there from Skyline, and ultimately came in and cleaned up the job, did number 12, Anthony Giraldi, for Red Mountain's defense.
Skyline trailing by 7 points. They've got the football on a 4th and 2 right here. Castle under center. They turn around, they give it to Wood, and Wood is going to be close to the first down. Let's see if he's got it. Skyline indicates that he does. It's very close. And we'll wait for the linesman to spot the football. And I would say they've got the first down, but you don't know. You just don't know. So now they're going to take a timeout. They're going to measure.
I don't think he got that one, Kevin. If he did, that was a great spot because Red Mountain's defense was all over that play. They knifed in there and kept churning those legs and driving the pile backwards.
This is a huge measurement upcoming here. Everybody on the offensive line for the Mountain Lions, or the Coyotes, if you will, believe they've got it. You can see Isaac Thompson down there. He's getting ready to officiate for us. Let's see and watch his body language. It's a first down for the Coyotes. Wasn't even close. Good spot.
Great spot. Yep, great spot indeed. So Skyline lives to play another down here on this drive. They're moving the football down 7, just inside 5 minutes to go.
A fresh set of downs for Angelo Pafumi's football team. They're 2-4. They're 1-0 in the East Valley region. They're trying to pick up their 3rd win of the season. Red Mountain trying to pick up their 5th win of the campaign. Shotgun snap to Castle. Castle's going to run with it. Has a blocker in front of him. That's Wood. And Castle goes up the sideline. He's inside the red zone, and he's going to be grabbed and thrown out of bounds right near the 15-yard line. And if you're the quarterback, Stephen Castle, and your lead blocker is Aaron Wood, hey, let's do that again.
Yeah, that was a great job by Wood getting to the outside there and leading the way for Castle. They pulled the backside guard and tackle as well, and they had a convoy on the near side of the football field here, did Skyline.
16-yard gain for the quarterback, Stephen Castle. Again, it's Castle, and he's going to run right into Charlie Hola, put on the brakes, and get slammed to the ground. Charlie Hola right there, give him an easy TFL, but he was there closing the gap right away.
Yeah, Castle that time, they pulled the backside guard and tackle once again. Castle tried to go out the back gate on that one, but Hola right there for the stuff for Red Mountain. Nice job.
Great defense there by Red Mountain. In that bend but don't break scenario right here. This is Castle. It's back to the tailback, Truesdale, and he just loses his footing and he stops. So in back-to-back plays, the Coyotes can't quite get their footing, and they will suffer back-to-back losses.
Yeah, a couple of gimmies there for the Red Mountain defense. Let's see if they're able to stiffen here once again on third down as the crowd begins to come to alive here in the Lions' Den.
So
let's get them going, KDB.
The turf monster once again comes up here. Red Mountain has a chance to get a big-time stop here, and for the first time in a couple games, we start to hear So we are in the coach's box with the Skyline Coyotes in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coaches up here. And the funny thing is like a couple of them have turned into absolute cheerleaders up here. So just from that stake alone, you want to get out of here with a dub.
We're going to see if this crowd comes alive here on a critical third down for Red Mountain. They do not want to give up this one. They want to force Skyline to either try to go for it on fourth down or try to kick a long field goal.
What a great turnout here tonight, James. So many young people out here. Here we go. Tyler Ebel gets them ramped up here on a 3rd and 14 from the 18-yard line of Red Mountain. Castle under center, quarterback. He's got Lindy to the far side on a play fake. This is Castle, wants to throw the ball. He throws, the ball is batted down. I think Charlie Hola was over there and might have got a hand on it. Jacob Griffin was in the area as well, but yeah, Hola got the ball. Charlie Hola deflected that pass, and now it'll be a 4th and 14 for the ball game.
Yeah, Charlie Hola got that mountain lion paw up there and batted that one down. A nice job and an excellent pursuit there as well from Jacob Griffin running that one down from the backside.
Great pass rush there by the Mountain Lions on a possession play, perhaps for the game. 4th and 14 for the Mountain Lion 18-yard line. 3 wide receivers in. It's Lindsley to the near side on a low snap. This is Buchanan. He wants to throw the football, looking for the end zone, looking for Truesdale. The ball's going to be picked off in the end zone. I think George Ramirez picked it off. Double deuces. George Ramirez with an interception, his second in as many weeks, may have saved the game for the Mountain Lions.
What a great job that time. George Ramirez playing through pain, as you mentioned a bit earlier, but he came up huge on that one. The halfback pass there, threw into double coverage late over the middle, and the Red Mountain secondary right there waiting on that one.
Great job there by George Ramirez. I'm not sure if they wanted Solomon Buchanan to throw that football there. They went razzle-dazzle big time, and that one backfired on the Coyotes.
It did indeed. Now, if you're Red Mountain here, you want to keep that football, do not turn it over, and move it the chains.
This is Darren Smith at quarterback, the turnaround, the give to Elliott. Watch out here. Anytime you see that pile stand up, you can also see Deontay Elliott emerge and start running with the football.
Yes, indeed. He was able to maybe squirt out of that one there. If they let him get to the edge and get that motor going, look out.
So Elliott stuffed on the right side, and that was a nice defense there by Skyline. And just to go back to the coaches and the cheerleading scenario, some of the fans after that last pick took a couple digs up here towards the press box, towards that Skyline coaches, and they're just vocal. They're a boisterous group, but the way that they go about their business, they're trying to stick it to some of the fans and some of the personnel inside the press box, and people here aren't going for it.
Yeah, not having it whatsoever here.
it'll be interesting to see how it is on the file out. And as I mentioned before, as we talked in pregame, the handshake tonight will be oh so interesting when you look at the history of these two teams. And Marcus Brown, a player that played at Skyline a year ago, is now here at Red Mountain, still not eligible to play, but there's just a lot of bad blood amongst these two schools.
Yeah, no love lost here between Red Mountain and Skyline, and they've had a couple of epic battles over the past couple of years. You mentioned the last year, 14-0. Red Mountain came on top. The year before that, 2016, in round one of the playoffs, Skyline ultimately lost to Red Mountain 16-13.
This is Darren Smith under center. There goes Randall in motion. He's the tight end. The turn, the play fake. It's going to be Smith. He's going to run with it. Now it's going to be sacked to the backfield. Wow. Interesting play call right there for Red Mountain.
Yeah, and pressure on that time from To'oto, and nice heady play there from Deontay Elliott, not getting that block in the back and making that play even worse than it was.
Daniel To'oto, give him the sack on the play. That's his third sack of the year. And wow, interesting play call right there to roll the quarterback out and risk that one. Now, it'll be a 3rd and 12 from their own 18-yard line. Do you take a chance? Kalem Reese-Peebles to the near side. They want to go that route. Looking for Molina. He's caught at the 50. He's open. In the clear at the 40. The 30. Foot race. 20. 10. 5. Touchdown. Zach Molina. Pater pops. Touchdown. Mountain Lions.
Outstanding protection up front for the Red Mountain offense. Darren Smith able to set his feet, coming back into the ball game and throwing the ball down the middle. Zach Molina streaking down the football field. Laid it right into the breadbasket there, and Red Mountain might have sealed the deal with that one.
82 yards. Darren Smith to Zach Molina. And the Mountain Lions are in command here, 27-14.
What a play.
Penalty marker on the play, and as I mentioned again, the coaches and the fans getting into it just a little bit here. Nothing will be sweeter for the Mountain Lions when this game goes final to say the now all-time series is Red Mountain 12, Skyline 2. Count
12-2.
Count them up.
Majority rules.
So that is the longest pass play of the season for Red Mountain. Darren Smith up top to Zach Molina. Molina, 82-yard reception, the biggest play of his young career. And again, as the Skyline coaches take off here, they really showed their mettle here with the sportsmanship tonight.
And then another good ball sportsmanlike conduct against Red Mountain. So both those penalties will go on kickoff. Lions will try the initial punt.
Just head out of the booth.
So Gardner on for the conversion attempt. And this handshake's going to be fun. We mentioned that.
Oh, we got to get down there for that
Good
one.
snap. A great hold by Strail, and the 1-point conversion attempt is good. Gardner stuck it inside the left upright. 2:09 to go in this one. Our score, Red Mountain 28, Skyline 14. How about that play? You saw Kalem Reese-Peebles to the near side. He had one-on-one coverage with JoJo Wallace, but then somehow Molina snuck past the secondary, and Smith just threw it over the zone, dropped it in there, and Molina did the rest with that speed.
Yeah, you mentioned Reese-Peebles. They must have been keying him on that one because Molina came out of nowhere down the middle of the field. He was wide open. There was no one within 5-8 yards of him. He hauled that one in, and after that, it was just a foot race to the end zone.
Great speed, and what a big boost of confidence for Darren Smith and that offensive line. And I'll tell you what, that play bailed out the previous play call on the rollout quarterback sack. That was something that just made you scratch your head, but any way you slice it, dice it here tonight, the Mountain Lions have a 14-point lead here with 2:09 to go in this East Valley Region contest. And not sure exactly what the penalty was all about, but unfortunately for the Mountain Lions, they're going to be kicking this ball off inside their own red zone.
Yeah, something to do with an unsportsmanlike down here in the end zone. I'm not really sure what happened, but Red Mountain was not in good shape there. 3rd and 12, I believe it was, from deep in their own territory when Darren Smith released that football and found Zach Molina down the middle of the football field and bailed him out.
For Molina, his 2nd touchdown reception this season. And again, I mentioned that's the longest of his career. So Molina, when he got into the end zone, instead of breaking the tape or going pylon, he just kind of slid in, knees first, if you will. I don't believe that would be worthy of an unsportsmanlike call, so I'm not sure what happened down there. Perhaps we'll find out after the completion of this game. And don't go away. You're going to want to watch this handshake.
Yeah, 2nd controversial unsportsmanlike call over the last week, if you will, Kevin.
So Gardner drills it out of bounds. And here comes the penalty marker come in, so it'll be a procedure penalty assessed to Red Mountain. And Skyline, trailing by 2 touchdowns here, will have a very, very short field here.
Yeah, you can't put your defense in that kind of position. I really don't understand why they're not kicking that full leg all the way down the football field and letting these guys play defense. Coach Kyle Enders is befuddled about it as well. Not sure what happened there on that special teams miscue.
The Mountain Lions use all of their coaches to work within the special teams unit. There's not one designated special teams coach. I guess you could say Mike Peterson is, but the group works together to coach special teams. So all of them, 2-man, are down there working on that unit. And I saw about 3 or 4 coaches with the head shake there on that last kick, but who knows what the instruction was. We can only speculate up here, JP.
Correct. Yeah, we don't have a direct line down there to the sideline, but nonetheless, a short field here for Skyline to work with.
So go the Coyotes still in it. This is Aaron Wood, flanked to the left of Stephen Castle. You have to watch out for the trickeration. This is Castle, and the ball is picked off. It's picked off by Isaac Thompson. Thompson to the outside, and Thompson is going to go up the sideline, still on his feet. Down the sideline, 30, 20, and he's shoved out of bounds inside the red zone. Isaac Thompson with an interception. That might have sealed the deal. There is a penalty marker on the field. Perhaps the run back will come back, but we can say this, that Isaac Thompson just picked off his 3rd pass of the season right there.
Impressive interception there for Isaac Thompson, and a very nice block on the far side of the football field by Georgie Ramirez, clearing the way for IT going up the far sideline. We'll see what the penalty flag is here.
You want to know what this game means? Anthony Giraldi walking off the field with just the whole yap, that motion with your hand. You guys are just yapping. And so what a big return. In fact, well, let's see where they put the football. So the penalty is assessed to Skyline, and the return, I believe, is going to stand up. So Red Mountain's going to have the rock, 1st and goal to go on the 3-yard line. The Mountain Lions in golden position to lead this series all time at 12-2.
Yeah, an impressive 4th quarter here for Red Mountain.
The turn to give to Elliott, and he lunges for the end zone. It's going to be stopped short. Elliott making a bid for his 3rd touchdown of the night. And by the way, the impact player of the game was Deontay Elliott.
And well called, my friend. He's had a great impact on this one here, and a great debut last week, and he's going to do great things for this Red Mountain offense going forward.
And you don't think the Red Mountain wants to punch it in right here? You know they do. 2nd and goal to go for the 1-yard line.
I say you give it to AR.
Randall in the backfield. The D-train under center. The turn, the give. This is Garner, I believe, and he's stuck at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, what a play that time. Number 68 coming in there. Noah Barta for Skyline and saying nothing doing to Jarquell Garner.
Barter, an all-region player. Gets it done on both sides of the ball. So the clock now in the final minute. And you just know that Red Mountain wants to punch it in right here. Looking for the dagger.
Yeah, Mike Peterson's going to dial it up right here.
Sauce is the center. The tailback is Jarquell Garner. He already has scored tonight. Do they give it to Randall? They turn, they give to Garner. Garner starts right, cuts it inside, and he's going to try to work his way into the end zone, and he's going to be stuffed short. I thought when he turned his body, he might be able to get that shoulder across and break the plane with that pigskin, but he couldn't, as Jasper Parks now comes up gimping just a little bit. And that's going to be the final play of the game. Red Mountain is going to win this football game here at home. They'll win it 28-14. And they did what was necessary to come out of here victorious, but it wasn't pretty.
Yes, they did. It wasn't pretty, but no one ever said it had to be, but you got to get that W, and that's exactly what they did. They played a great fourth quarter, both on defense and special teams as well, and that ultimately carried them on to the victory here tonight over Skyline.
Keep an eye on this handshake. Congratulations to the Mountain Lions. They pick up the victory. They are now 5-2, and most importantly, James, they're 2-0 in the East Valley region.
Yeah, very important to get those region wins when you can, and especially you got to win your home games for sure. And looking forward to next week at Mountain View. That should be a dandy as well.
Really a credit to both teams for their fight in this ball game, for their continued excellence in playing this game the right way. It didn't get ugly. There was some chippiness. There were some emotions that had built over here a little bit, and the fans and the coaches got into it here. But it was a well-played football game. Sure, there were some turnovers and some penalties, but two physical teams getting after each other here. They left it on the field tonight.
They did indeed leave it all on the field here tonight, and both these teams we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, no love lost between them, but a great East Valley battle here and a region win nonetheless for Red Mountain, and they look forward to continuing that streak here as we head towards the postseason. Hard to believe I'm already saying that.
For Skyline, they fall to 2-5. They even up the books in the East Valley region. Now Mountain View picked up a win tonight over Westwood, so Mountain View is now 2-0. So when you want to look at what could happen next week, both teams at 2-0, Red Mountain at 2-0, Mountain View at 2-0. Next week's game could very well be for the region title with the Mountain View Toros. A win over Mountain View, you would solidify your position in the penthouse in the East Valley region.
Yeah, Red Mountain needs to go in, go on the road, up the street, up Brown Road, and get that victory next week against Mountain View. And they had a big win tonight. At least the last time we checked, they were on top and in command of their game tonight. 29-3, I want to say it was, and I believe that was around halftime. So Mountain View ready to go. They're ready to play football, and they'll be ready for these Mountain Lions next week at home.
Well, that's a game that's